they wait for you. But Gabo, you were saying this before we crossed over to Shai Osudoku with Sami. I wanted to know whether the perception that we've had, the solid electoral process, is to you. You see that as well, because I even hear Fred touting it almost all evening.
Well, I mean, it's clear that there's been a big improvement from when we started. For those who may not be old enough to remember, we started in Ghana with ID cards without photos, no picture. I mean, you can't imagine that today.
Some were even handwritten.
Yeah, we started with opaque ballot boxes.
Yeah.
Opaque. Yeah. I mean, you can't see what is in there.
Yeah.
We started with a situation where they used to count the papers at the collation center.
Yeah.
So you finish voting at the polling station, then they carry it.
Yeah.
By the time it gets there, 2 has account for 4
things would have happened.
And we all remember biometric verification. I mean, it was virtually a whole war in Ghana to get. But do you remember all of this?
Yeah,
Yes.
Very much.
War to just say, let's do biometrification to make sure that you can't impersonate, and so on and so forth. So we've gotten to the place where we are beginning to take certain things for granted, which in itself is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with the progress that has happened. I'm also very happy that the MPP as a party has played a very yeoman's role in helping to develop the electoral process in almost all these instances. I mean, there are actually court cases for each and every one of these developmental stages that the Ghanaian is taking for granted. It's all good. Now that we have the digitization, for example, we should be able to apply it. And I'm looking forward to the day where Ghana would have a card where it is a driver's license, ID card, national health insurance card, voter's card, and so on. One card that serves various purposes, so that we'll be able to have less cards in our pocket. Already we are struggling with all the bank cards that we have already. Maybe the bank should also think of having a joint bank card. And then Ghana takes things to the next level, because you see, we have no excuse as a country not to be able to develop something we started from 1992. And from what I saw today, I saw ordinary people understanding the process, going through the process without any worry, without any anxiety. And I think that is the right way for the EC to go and for Ghana to go. And I don't know if you've noticed that a lot of people have actually taken it upon themselves to congratulate the EC for the work they did, especially the reduction of numbers at the polling station. Because we know when more people crowd, when there's more frustration, there's more tension, that is what would lead to all sorts of problems that will come later. So far, so very good. And I even look forward to us doing better in the future.
Okay, thank you. Like I have been saying all evening, we've got a tall list for you. We're going to have a lot of this discussion after this particular round. We are going to have a lot of data analysis, and my man Paul Adom-Otchere will be leading all of that. Paulus has also spent almost the entire day in Kumasi. You saw him earlier reporting heavily from quite a number of polling areas. We have some numbers also coming from some of those areas in Kumasi as well. So there's a lot that he's got to share with you going forward from this period going. But fortunately, he's joined us. Paulus, good to have you.
Well, 10:43. We are more than an hour late on our advertised program, but we have a lot tonight. Big disappointments, big celebrations, huge casualties, and major revelations tonight. We believe that with our what we call the parliamentary dashboard.
Yeah.
In the next 4 hours, we'll be able to make a clear projection on the parliamentary elections.
Yeah.
32 is the magic number we are working with tonight. And up there in
Okay.
the studio, everything is ready. I have Alex Segbefia in the studio representing the NDC. The MPP have a representative, and Dr. H. Sikanko is going to be our civil society moderate who is going to put the stuff together. Also in the same studio is our number crunching group and our IT experts. We are all in the same studio, and our touchscreen is ready.
Nice one.
We're going to begin with a big announcement. We think that what has happened in one of the seats is giving Ghana a historic moment and a historic data. It appears that there's been about a 62% parliamentary swing. A deficit of 28,000 has been wiped off in 4 years. That's the biggest story for tonight. Is the most major political story. We've been checking the data, and we don't have the data for 1951, 54, and 56. But we can confidently say that since 1960, this will be the biggest parliamentary swing in the history of Ghanaian politics.
That's
I'm sure that if you extrapolate that 28,000 to many other African countries, it will be a major record. So we're going to talk about that in our first instance, and I'm referring to what may have happened in Hohoe. It's a big tsunami. If what we are hearing is true, of 100 polling stations now counted, few polling stations to go. Peter Mewu has what appears to be an unassailable lead. If he wins it, that's the story. That's the story. We are hearing also tonight, as Metro TV has reported, that our good friend George Anda may have been a casualty for the night in Wutu Senya. It appears that he was unable to make it. We also have results that are nearing the end of the counting, like the closest, too close to call, too tight to call, is in Lejokuku, where Dr. Koboy is neck to neck with his candidates. Every ballot matters now in Lejokuku. Every polling station matters. The counting is going on, and they have had gains and losses. So in Twibula, for instance, when Dr. Koboy won in 2016, he's lost some of those. But in Tebibiano, where he lost, he's winning some of those. Right now, the NDC candidate is leading. Every ballot matters in Lejokuku, and we're going to keep an eye on that. It looks like Tema East also, there may have been a casualty with Titus Glover. It appears that he's won, but a great story for the MPP is coming out of Damango. He's lost. Sorry, Titus Glover has lost. He's losing as it is, and our projection is that he may not be able to win the seat. But a great story is coming from Damango. It appears Deputy Chief of Staff Samuel Abujinapo has now taken a lead. The rest of the polling stations left to be counted are polling stations that even the MPP wins even in Damango. So it's looking like Abujinapo may have given the MPP a seat. So we have the magic number of 32.
Okay.
32 is a magic number because that's the number of constituencies that the NDC need to win directly from the MPP without losing anything to win the parliament by the minimum of 1. To take them to 138. So that's what our dashboard is going to do. That's what our touchscreen is going to do. So when parliamentary results come, we input it in the 32 and see whether 32 has become 30, has become 19, has become 16, or has become 36. And by 1 a.m. tonight, we will be able to make a clear projection before the Ashanti results come in, whether the NDC will win the parliament or not. As for the presidential election, we have a lot to say about it when we take over. Sure. But the battle really is the battle for the Chamber of Parliament tonight.
Sure. And we're going to stay with you all throughout the night. And you have a solid team out there. So, folks, like we have been announcing all throughout, you can't afford to miss this one if you're really interested in seeing what's going to happen. And in that, like Paul said, in the next few hours, you should be getting a sense of what's really going on. And that's very deep. That's something you can't afford to miss. But you also run around Kumasi today.
Kumasi was interesting. So we started our journey from Dwabin. So that's, you go to Kumasi, down KNUST and go in there. So it used to be called Ejusu Dwabin constituency. It's now Dwabin and Ejusu. So we did Dwabin and then we went to Ejusu. And our check was the first conversation that we're going to have tonight. It's about, was there a high or low voter turnout? So when you look around Ashanti region, what we saw today, you won't find any queue anywhere. You won't find a queue. So that's the cursory appreciation will then be that there's a low voter turnout because the queues were not there. But the one we went in and we asked people, how many people have registered in this polling station? Averagely, all the polling stations were averaging around 400 people, number of registered voters. And at 4 o'clock, 1 hour to the close of poll when we're there, you will see that it's about 300 have voted. So the voter turnout we wait to see, but I suspect that it may be because the Electoral Commission had quadrupled polling stations. Yeah. We moved from 2016's polling stations of 20-something thousand, late 20s, to 38,000 now. So about 10,000 polling stations have been added. I think that's what is accounting for the quick voting. And when you check around social media, everyone says, when I went, I didn't find a queue. I went, I didn't find a queue.
Yeah.
So it may well be that the Electoral Commission's plan to sort of multiply polling stations is what is accounting for it. But our correspondents in Kumasi are finalizing. And the NDC believe they won Asawase, which is a seat that we are looking at, because there's been some celebrations already. But we are waiting for a few polling stations to come, and then we'll make a determination. Ayawaso West Wogon, we're also hearing a story from there that may be good for the New Patriotic Party, that Lydia Al-Hassan has taken a lead at this stage in the counting, and what is left to be counted is her strongholds of Abelenkwe and parts of Jowulu. So if that were to be the story, then Lydia Al-Hassan would have, against some odds, maintained the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, in spite of the fact that the students were not there to vote for her. We are waiting for Obodai, who is inside the thick of affairs at Ododio polling station. We understand that Lead Antivandapo is in the lead. We understand also that the Kantamanto polling station, the ballots are yet to be counted. So whatever lead Neil Antivandapo has, we expect that to be whittled down by the counting of Kantamanto. So all of these things, what we're going to do upstairs in our studio.
Let me keep you a short while and ask Fred and Gabo what they make of some of the breakdowns that you have made so far. Do some of them shock you or surprise you?
Not really. I
you
think that Paul himself is not very certain with what he has put out now.
Of course, most of it.
We are making projections. We are not sure. So I think we are sure of Utu Senya, though.
Yeah, Utu Senya. I think we are sure
of.
But so let's wait. Let's give ourselves time. There's no need running to any conclusions at this point. Of course, we can make all the projections as you have done, but they are not conclusive, and that must go out. That is not the final result. It's based on what you are picking now. Counting is even ongoing in most of the places. And so let's wait. By 1 a.m., by 2 a.m., we should have a clearer picture as to what is happening. Because I'm saying
some press conferences tonight. I think the NDC is advertising a press conference for sometime around midnight, and John Boedu is also advertising a press conference at the same time. So we have a long night coming up, and we will be doing the number crunching here. Our distinguished ambassador to India was my senior in school. It's always important. As of that day, as we respect our seniors. So I have to say good evening, senior.
For pay homage.
Well, that's
you
an
were
interesting
leaving
way.
and he was leaving.
Yes, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Mike,
I think the microphone is off. Sorry.
I was saying that
Paul wants you to repeat that leaver
side.
No.
He's my senior any day.
He was saying senior,
my senior.
and I said, well, it's not that significant because when I was a leaver in upper 6, he was a leaver in Form 5, O-level, A-level. In fact, we do everything together. Rablo, everything. So
they don't know what Rablo is, so don't tell them.
So, yes, Paul was a very good chap from school, and as we can all see, I was quite surprised with the information he was giving us from the top of his head. I'm like, I mean,
he's a sharp guy.
Where
you know
did
this?
Where did he read all of this?
I tell you,
information and give it to us from? So that was very appreciated. His projections were making my brother a bit jittery. But as we said, they are all projections.
They are projections. They are projections.
But I like the projections.
Some of it.
Well, most of them. I like.
You won't like them at East, but
well, I know. I didn't like one or two, but
maybe a few others.
But I like, especially as you know, evening has been very Ayawaso West Wogon. So let those projections continue flowing, and we also know that there's a lot happening around the country. In fact, the NPP is doing very well, especially in the Savannah region. It's something that we were not expecting. And we are very happy with that because we all know that the northern part of the country has been quite a stronghold for the NDC, and we're doing very well in that region. Even in places where we managed not to win, we had closed the gap considerably. And these are some of the things which are attributing to the president's very good figures. As I told you, we also have projections as to why he's over 54% in most of the things that we have tabulated. We've tabulated up to about 50% in terms of projections, and the president is doing very well. We just pray that by the grace of God, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will maintain those figures. You know one thing about elections,
I don't think that
it all depends on what has come from home, and it all depends.
I don't think Paul even agree with you on
no, I'm not
your
asking
projection.
I think what's happening tonight is that both camps, both the NDC and the MPP, seem to have forgotten about the presidential election. I can't say why.
Dealing a lot with
but
the
it looks like
parliamentary.
there's some certainty about the presidential election. I don't know what certainty it is, but it is a parliamentary that is really good. And that's why we thank our stars that we focused on creating a parliamentary dashboard to inform our viewers what happens.
But you don't have a presidential dashboard.
And we do have a presidential dashboard.
There is, but the interest, like you're saying.
Since about 1 hour ago,
yeah.
Both NDC and MPP are
a lot of interest
focusing on the
parliament.
presidential.
Oh, I don't know.
It appears that there's something certain.
Yes.
There's something certain about the presidential
We
that I
all
don't
know
know
what is happening
about.
with the presidential.
It may not necessarily be the
But
certainty,
if I may say,
but-
because that's why
We
I was
all know what is
focusing on
happening with the
that.
presidential. We know.
We are very much.
Oh, yeah.
We are.
I think there's
You
a
agree with
certainty. I just don't
all
know.
that is
I don't know which certainty.
You see,
but there is
that's
a
why I
certainty.
said that. As for me, I have what we call projection figures.
Yeah.
You don't have any projection
I
figures.
have. I can show it to you. I'm just being reluctant.
What are your projection figures?
You see, listen.
No, so for the
If all the
presidential,
seats that Paul even projected, the NPP is leading, go and find out what is happening with the presidential in those areas. All the areas that mentioned. Check out what is happening with the presidential.
Like I was West Wogan.
Like I was West Wagon,
Like
like
Lejokuku.
where you are talking about, like Lejokuku
Oh,
you are talking
Hohoe
about.
is a very safe. Hohoe is a very safe.
Like
NDC.
Lejokuku
When it
you are
comes to
talking about.
presidential.
Yeah.
Like I was West Wagon.
Well,
check out what is
Lejokuku's
parliamentary,
presidential election in 2016 was won by John Dramani Mahama.
Okay.
So Lejokuku is not one of those that we are looking at.
Okay.
It's a parliamentary that's important. John Dramani
You
Mahama
mentioned
won it.
Damango. Find out what is
Yes.
happening in Damango presidential.
Damango is a seat that the NPP have never won in the history of
That's
the Fourth
right.
Republic. So we don't worry about the
Okay.
presidential. If the NDC loses the parliament, then that's a story. The
Find out what
NPP
is
have
happening in the
won-
upper Denchira. We have never won that since 1992. Find out what is happening there.
That's in the
now.
parliamentary seat.
Yes,
That
parliamentary
would be a
seat.
story. That would be a
So you
story.
find out.
And I'm
That'll
sure
be a
it
story.
will be one of the
Yeah.
interesting ones you deal with on the
anyway,
dashboard.
still he has
Okay.
not given me his figures.
Because
and
of
But you
But-
see, we are,
but-
we
we
have
agree.
to, we have to link to
Yes.
Paul,
Yeah.
because it's your
Let me
folks
introduce
are
my
there.
guests. So, viewers, if you are still with us,
Yeah.
my guests in the studio, you see them in a minute from left to right. Alexander Segbefia on your screen, and
Yeah.
H.S. Sikanko, and Dr. Richard Ahiagba. Dr. Richard Ahiagba is from the Dankwa Institute, so he's fully representing the Elephant Party. Dr. H.S. Sikanko in the middle of the screen. Gentlemen, if you can give us a wave.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we can see you.
Okay, we can see them. They didn't hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our guest, three guests in the studio. Alex Segbefia, Dr. Sikanko, and Dr. Ahiagba are very, very ready. And if you can show our touch screen over there, maybe you can show our touch screen over
Where
there.
the
They'll show
dashboard
it.
is going to be displayed.
What the dashboard is, they can show it in a minute. Hopefully they will show. Can they show it? Okay, they are trying to.
Well, maybe whilst they do
They're
that,
trying
let
to
me
show it,
also
yeah.
say a big thank you to Mike and Fred. So, Mike Okwe Jr., His Excellency Mike Okwe Jr. is Ghana's ambassador to India, and we are very thankful, Mike Gabo, for joining us this evening.
I need to sleep.
We're going to. You're what?
I need to go and get some sleep.
No wahala.
Ready for
No
tomorrow.
wahala. We deal with you. But tomorrow you they join early in the morning. So Mike, thanks a lot. Fred Agbenyo is the Deputy Director of International Relations of the National Democratic Congress. He's hoping to be Ghana's ambassador to India when he grows up.
to India. if they were to win, a direct swap.
He's been looking for. He's been looking for. And also earlier we had Dr. Onzi Nathan Nkrumah. Dr. Onzi Kwame Nkrumah. He's the first Vice Chairman and leader of the Convention People's Party. We've had quite extensive discourse on the interaction on the numbers that are coming. When Paul takes over, we are also going to hear. He mentioned Oboda is on the side. And then we will get all the others. So we have some footage now. We're going to play, and the rest is Paul's.
Okay, so thank you very much. Viewers, welcome now to the numbers. There's a saying that it's not those who vote who matter with the democracy, it is those who count the ballots. That's where we are now. The ballots are being counted, and this is where you have to stay with Metro TV. We have all the analysis. Let's go to the Art Center where I was at 5 p.m. and the boys almost chewed me up. They insisted when they saw the Metro TV microphone that they needed to sing a Jama song for their favorite candidate, Dr. Rawlings. That was at the Art Center where the Kole counting is still going on. Here is Osu, back up with the analysis.
Dr. Zanetta Rawlings and Prince of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Rawlings is the incumbent parliamentary candidate, and all over Osu, most of the polling stations are returning a victory for her. This constituency must, however, wait for the results from Asylum down at the Braka, the Art Center, to make a determination. These young men here are very excited about a long night of counting ballots. Yeah, be a number by. Namo believe I can number one by winning. So you've seen it, largely supporters of Dr. Adom-Otchere Rawlings expecting her and John Dramani Mahama to win this constituency. Korle Klottey is one of those we are looking at tonight because in the last election, it returned a skirt and blouse voting. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won the election in the constituency, but in Parliament, Dr. Rawlings was given the nod by the constituents. This time, it's another taller constituency, so we are watching to see what happens. Who did you vote for?
Too short.
So this is the art center. The art center in Osu is actually part of the Osu-Kinkanwe electoral area. As we said to you before, there are two electoral areas in Osu here, Osu-Kinkanwe and Osu-Alata. They always return a very heavy verdict for the NDC candidate. What we are watching out tonight is whether the over 10,000 margin that the Osu-Kinkanwe and Osu-Alata returned for the NDC candidate will be repeated tonight. We'll bring you reports also from Masala and Adabraka, but at 9 o'clock, we will be ready to make a projection on this constituency. Last song. So a lot more coming to you. I've just come back and my crew, we have just come back from the Ashanti region. All night we are going to tell you what's going to happen. 9 o'clock is the place to be. Metro TV. We will be live in the studio with all the reports and we'll tell you what each report means. Thank you very much. Let's take a last song for them and then we go. More of this coming on Metro TV. 9 o'clock is the place to be. Every result will be analyzed. Every count will be given a consequence. I'll see you. Thank you. So this is Metro TV. It's happening at the Art Center. There's going to be a lot of fireworks here tonight because this is the Coalition Center for the Korle Klottey constituency. The battle is between Dr. Adom-Otchere Rawlings and Prince of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Rawlings is the incumbent parliamentary candidate, and all over Osu, most of the polling stations are returning a victory for her. This constituency must, however, wait for the results from Asylum down at Abraka, the Art Center, to make a determination. These young men here are very excited about a long night of counting ballots. Hello, welcome, and this is our big election night. We are going all the way. My guests have already been introduced, but let me first go to the guests and ask them about. Let me ask them about their initial impressions from today. What is the turnout situation? I was in Ashanti and I heard a lot, but Alex has a lot of experience in this. His most successful experience was 2008. And so let me ask you, Alex, what's your impressions of today's exercise?
Good evening, Paul, and good evening to my colleagues and obviously your viewers.
I'm sorry, Alex, let me introduce this group of people. Those you can see on the screen, viewers, are our... guys, can you mention your names? Your name is? Speak into the microphone.
My name is Joseph Kejuagri.
And then?
Richard Lai.
Yeah, maybe give them the microphone, let them mention their names as well.
Tete Stephen.
It looks like I didn't hear that. Okay, so what do you say?
Tete Stephen.
Stevens. Okay, and then?
Ebenezer.
Okay, give the microphone back. So Ebenezer and Stevens. So viewers, as they're on screen, let me tell you what they're going to be doing. Please put them back on screen. So these are the people that are our powerhouse. So those on the right, the first two on the right with the microphones in front of them are our actuarial scientists and number crunchers. So they know every vote in polling stations for the year 2012 and for the year 2016. As soon as the results come in, including those that we have already, they are going to send the results to the other group of people in the next chair. They are going to input it into the screen behind me here. So they'll show you the screen behind me. Let me stand up. Yes, so they are going to input it into this software. Okay, Dr. Hemba is nice, but let's see the stuff. Let's see this one. Okay, that's the team, and yes, so they are going to give me the information. I'll input it here, and here we have a lot coming. We have our parliamentary dashboard, etc. I'll show you about the dashboard in a minute. But tonight we are working with the number 32, and I'll explain what the 32 is. So, gentlemen, good evening. Thank you. We'll be coming to you when we need to, but keep your eye on your computer and update us. Update us when the numbers come. So. Those are our four gentlemen that we are relying on. A lot of coffee is coming for you. We're here for a long night. So, Alex, sorry, can you please tell us your impressions about this year's election, given your wide experience, not just in Ghana, but obviously in the UK as well?
Well, I think that in terms of the actual voting process, we have to agree that it has actually, on the face of it, gone very calmly and coolly in most places. There were 1 or 2 incidents, but you'll expect some kind of shenanigans at some point, but nothing to write home about. And I think that up to that point, we can pat ourselves on the back. 1 or 2 issues that came to the fore were the delay in voting caused by lack of ballot papers in some areas. So it took some 2 or 3 hours before people could start voting in some areas. And then the lack of planning for nighttime counting, because in some places
there was no light.
There was no light, and they didn't. The power was they sabotaged power in some areas. We believe.
Did you say sabotage?
I said we believe that some sabotage took place.
Or was it in your strongholds?
No. I'm not saying I'm not saying whether it's one party or another. No, I'm just saying that some people, for whatever reason, made sure that there were power cuts in some areas.
But which are those areas? Because we are interested for that.
I'll have to get the detail for you. But what then happened was that we needed lanterns, and the EC hadn't made provision for some of those lanterns to be available. So everything had to come to kind of a stop for them to get light available. It was discussed on various different means. But these are for polling stations, not like whole constituencies. So there were some difficulties of this nature. But I'm just highlighting the difficulties which were not widespread, but some of the things that we should have foreseen before they happen. But beyond that, so far, so good.
Okay, but the lantern situation is a major issue, so
well,
that cannot make it so far so good.
Well, no, it can up to a point insofar as it isn't, by my understanding, widespread. But they did question a lady who was from the EC on a different network about it, and she said, no, we've made provisions for anything that happens in the night, and it will be fine. But then when we got to the night and things started going wrong in some places, they didn't have the necessary equipment to deal with it till they had to go around and try and sort it out. So they had to get emergency lighting and stuff. So that is an issue, yes. I don't want to make it too much of an issue because I don't know how widespread it was, only that I know it happened in some polling stations, and that created a bit of a problem. Okay. In the same way that I don't know how many stations got their ballot papers late, and whether the EC then said, okay, since you started at 10, you stop voting at 8, as opposed to 5, because your...
so they were made to stop at 5?
Well, this is where the debate came in. Because, for example, in some parts of the Volta region, there was massive rain.
Rain today?
Yes, heavy rain. I was in the Volta region. It rained heavily. So some people had to, the police stations couldn't work. So they had to stop work for an hour or two. But what the order that was given was, if by 5 you were still in the queue, you would be allowed to vote.
Yeah, that's the rule. That's
yes.
CI 217.
But the point is that, take the issue of the ballot papers. The same system then is applied. It means that you must join the queue by 5 before, but it means that you're going to end up with late results.
Late voting, you finish voting late, yes.
And it doesn't take into account that if you have an act of God, which means that you had planned to get to a polling station at 5, but because of the rain, you couldn't make it there by 5, and you get there at 6, is it necessarily your fault? But you say, well, you should have gotten there earlier. What about the polling stations, you going in early, knowing that you were going to vote by 6 or 7, or by 7 or 8 in the morning? You got there, you couldn't do what you had to do, so you had to leave. You've come back, but you couldn't come back before 5. The hour that was lost was their hour, not yours. Do you get it back? So
no,
I think that...
What do you know about what happened in the Volta region? Those places where there was rain, were they asked to stop voting at 5?
If you were in the queue, you got to vote, so it's not a problem.
But if you had arrived after 5, you can't vote.
I can't answer the question because I don't know. I'm just highlighting it for you. I'm just saying that these are issues that when things come up, you should keep in mind, because some voting had to stop for different reasons. And therefore, the EC would have to make a decision whether to extend or not extend the time. And that is the point that I don't know how their discretion works on matters of that nature.
Okay. Actually, let me talk to the other politician, and then I'll come to you in a minute. So, Dr. Richard Anyagba, you were speaking on the phone a moment ago, and you were repeating the word 42%. I was eavesdropping. What is that about? What is 42%?
Well, good evening to you and to your guest. I was just talking about some internal compilation that I was working on with my team. And so I was telling him where we were. He needed updates, so I was just telling him.
Is it looking good for you? Is it looking like a good night for you and your team?
Absolutely, absolutely. But what we have, and we knew this before time, because we had put in the work, and by that understanding, we knew that we're going to do very well. So we're very confident. There is really nothing to worry about. It's just a matter of time when all of it comes together. But we're quite confident. Turnout, I guess, if you compare this year to, say, 2012, for example, when we had a new register and the rest, turnout is somewhat low. And maybe that could be attributed to factors like the rain. It didn't only rain in Volta region, it rained in other parts of the country, which may have contributed to perhaps the low turnout. But we believe that whatever the turnout numbers ends up being, because this still remains fluid, we haven't gotten all the results in, but we believe that when all is said and done, at whatever percentage turnout we get, the result we know that will be in our favor. At least what we are getting through the systems we have set up is pointing clearly toward victory for the president, and we're going to do just as much as we projected in the parliamentary seat. So for us, it's a good night, it's a good day. We think that we put in the work, and therefore the result will justify what work we have put in. The concerns my senior is raising, I don't know. I was in the voter region today also to vote. But I don't know where it rained, because I had left, I got back to Accra around 2 o'clock or just a little before 2 o'clock. So I'm not sure where it rained. It didn't rain.
K2 South, K2 North.
Yeah.
That whole area.
Okay.
K2
okay. North and south.
K2 North, South and South,
Okay.
down to Kita.
Okay.
Or coming up towards the Anyaku stretch.
Okay.
That area.
Okay. Okay.
Up to Sukakope.
Okay.
It rained almost all the way up there.
Okay. That was exactly the stretch that I drove. So, but then
you didn't see the rain?
No. And I wasn't expecting rain, so I wasn't probably paying attention to the weather to see if there was any cloud forming.
But if you were there, it was raining, surely, Dr. Richard. But you
yes, of course.
You don't have to be expecting it.
No, I'm saying that when I left, it wasn't raining, and I didn't see the clouds.
Akachi areas. I drove through it in Akachi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Around what time do you get
About
back?
4.
About 4. Okay. I had gotten back here long before that.
3:34.
I think I got to Accra around just a little past 1 in the afternoon, so I wouldn't have seen it. Well, I don't know. Most of the places at the polling station where I voted, they were in a school compound, so they had buildings run around them. They could have just run into them for shelter. But all the same, is an art of nature. We really don't know if anybody can plan or preempt the rain. The only thing is to provide shelter, which I suppose they would have gotten. But from morning when voting started in the voter region, I'll be very candid with you, everything was moving very smoothly. My polling station, I got there just about, I think, 7:30, before 7:30 when I got there. And the lines were packed. People were voting. I wasted about 2 hours at the polling station, and everybody was just voting. It was just, the process was seamless. There was no hiccups. Everything was going on just as expected. And that's why I think I agree with my senior when he says that, so far so good. The process has been very, very...
But if the lanterns were not provided and people had to count ballots in darkness, that's amazing.
Well, my senior, this is not the first time. We've seen this before.
But we don't want to do that in 2020.
No, I agree.
It happened in 92 and 96, but not now.
Yeah, it probably did even in 2012, 2008, 9. It happened. And it really, this is like, it's day, it's night. It's a question of making the light available. So this is not rocket science. Okay. If people forget to bring the light, they got it, so they can get that done. So really, that is not a material challenge that we can say mar the beauty of the election. We need, in my assessment, we need to probably commend the EC. It's not quite done yet, but for what they have done and with all the skepticism that attended their work, I think that we are at a point that is fair when we all have agreed that this has been perhaps one of the best elections we've had in a long, long time. I suppose maybe not a long, long time, but in this Fourth Republic, perhaps we should say. The management of the polling station was clean. You went there and people were just going about their voting without any incident. The numbers were broken down in ways that perhaps people would have thought that, why are you doing that? But it allowed for the wait time to be cut down. People went there and they were freely voting. I loved it today when I saw it. And I was just thinking to myself that I'll come today or I meet my fellow Ghanaians on the side of the NDC who will say that indeed we judged the EC wrong in the fact that they have done a great job. We should say this without blinking. We should say this without feeling bad that we were skeptical from the beginning. The EC has done a good job. And my assessment is that Ghanaians have done what they are supposed to do as citizens of this country. Those who are able to go out there and express their franchise and their will to select a leader for the country, they've done a good job. And the result is showing clearly that indeed, when all is said and done, the NPP will emerge victorious.
Tonight?
I am very confident.
Okay. Dr. Sikanko, let's look at your view of the matter before we start taking our results to discuss them. And we'll begin from Hohoe. It looks like there's confirmation coming in to our studio that John Peter Mewu has indeed achieved the unthinkable. He has won the Hohoe seat for the New Patriotic Party. The first seat the NPP is winning in traditional Volta region since 1992, and occasioning the biggest swing in our history. We're going to be analyzing that on the touch screen. We also do know that in Adom-Otchere East, Deputy Minister for Communication, the Honorable George Anda, has been defeated by Gazelle Tete, who is the younger sister of Hannah Tete, who is the former MP that George Anda defeated. So it's like a 1-1 draw in there. The Tete family have returned a verdict of victory for themselves this time. George Anda has lost the seat for the MPP. We'll be doing a bit more of that. The counting in Ayaso West Ogun is nearly ended. We project that Lydia Al-Hassan is most likely to win. Let me talk to you, Eche, now. On the communication levels, the last days of the campaign and what happened today, is there something you are reading? Is there a nexus between that, in terms of the turnout, not yet results, but the turnout and the conduct of the polls?
I think the dominant narrative, if you look at the communication, the dominant narrative broadly that comes out during Ghanaian elections is that of peace, and probably across Africa. I was interviewed by DWTV and SABC and a couple of international media, and one of the central questions or issues of concern was the probability for conflict or the degeneration of some form of violence. And even in Ghana, we have the peace industry and all of that. So I think from the communication point of view, that was the dominant narrative. And that did not happen, although we had pockets of some violence in Adom-Otchere East, Adom-Otchere West, where we had the tampering with the ballot boxes, the shootings in the East, Boko Central. We had a tampering with the boxes as well. There were concerns about some people blocking the road in the Bumpurugu constituency as well. And then there was an issue of snatching of the ballot box, and one person was shot. So I think that those were the concerns coming into the election, and we've not seen a broad, widespread occurrence of that. So as far as, if you put this into the broader perspective, if you look at what the narrative has been, I do agree that this has been relatively quite effective or widely successful in terms of the organization of the elections.
Okay, so let's get onto the touchscreen now, and whoa, my microphone sound is going to create a problem for me today. Okay, so what do I do? How do I get to the base? I go there and there, I believe. Okay, so let's understand what our journey is tonight and see how we can achieve it. It's going to open up in a bit. It's our election central stuff. So everything we have is here. So you want me to go to Parliament, isn't it? I'm looking for the dashboard. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I go to Parliament, and when Parliament opens, I'll show you exactly what we're doing today. They're going to make an input very quickly so we can see it. We're going to start with what is today could be the biggest swing. Okay, so this is our parliamentary seat. So I think we should. Can you change everything up here to 000 and then let's start going on. So this is our parliamentary dashboard. This is an important figure. It is 16910. Yes, I hope viewers can see it. Thank you for that. So it is 169,106. That's on the left side of your screen. You can see that. And then let's look at the middle part of the screen where I'm asking them to make some changes, which they will finish just now. In the middle part of the screen, you see the NDC seats and the NPP seats and others. So we're going to have 0 here and 0 here to start the night. And this column, and I hope that you can put it out for viewers to see it directly. Yes, thank you very much. So this is what I'm talking about. So the NDC seat where you see 2 written there is just our number 2 is going to go off. It's just for our trial. 1 is going to go off, 0 is going to go off. So tonight, we're starting 00 from the first column at the top over there. Next, the NDC are next. So we're going to put in that column, sees that the NDC is picking from the MPP, and we're going to put in this column. Let's see that again. Sees that MPP are next. We're going to have sees that MPP is picking from the NDC. Now, the base, the yellow one that you're seeing there, the deficit and the to win is our most important concern for tonight. Not even the deficit. The deficit just represents the difference between the NDC and the MPP and the 63. Let's come back, show them that again. 32. We want to understand what the figure 32 means because that's our most important figure tonight. So let's go to 32. Let's see 32. Okay, so 32 is the magic number on down your screen. 32 is the number of seats that a minority in parliament need to win to become majority. What we're going to be doing tonight is that as soon as a parliamentary seat is declared, we're going to bring the 32 league table up and we're going to change it. So if NDC wins a seat directly from the MPP, 32 is going to become 31. If the MPP wins a seat directly from the NDC, 32 is going to become 33. So we're going to start immediately. Okay, so let's have a close-up of this as well. So this is our parliamentary sitting, how the parliament is arranged now. You can see that a semicircle shape, the speaker will be in the middle. All the blue is the MPP seats of 169. All the green is the MPP NDC seats of 106. If I tap here on 2020, and if you give it a close-up now, if you have it, everything here is showing blank, correct? So everything here is showing blank at this stage. If I come back on 2016, beautiful, everything comes back. So let's begin. Now, this is the big story tonight, viewers. It would appear that the MPP have occasioned a very important swing in the person of John Peter Amewu, who is the Minister for Energy. He has tonight won the Hohoi parliamentary seat for the New Patriotic Party. We believe that the John Dramani Mahama has won the presidential in Hohoi. We don't know the figures yet, but we believe that Peter Amewu has tonight won the Hohoi seat. So let's go to our parliamentary dashboard. Can you occasion a change right now? Can you put that up, or do you need some time to do that? Yes. Okay, so put everything here in 0, and we need 32 to become 33. No, note it down. 32 it will now be 33. But wait a minute. So 32 becomes 33 because John Peter Amewu has won, but Georganda has lost. So we are still on 32. Yes. So we need to give that information to show that 2 seats have come in, and the dashboard is still on 32. The NDC still needs to win 32 seats directly from the MPP because they have won 1 and they have lost 1. As the results come in, we'll be discussing that. So stay with us, viewers. This is the parliamentary dashboard. Tonight, the most interesting thing is Parliament. I said in the studio downstairs that it appears that for both political parties, not much is being said about the presidential. What it means to our analysts is that there's something certain about the presidential. We don't know what is certain. The NDC said the certainty is that John Dramani Mahama has won the presidential. The MPP said that the certainty is that Nana Akufo-Addo has won the presidential. So if you look at both war rooms, wherever they are in Accra, the big concentration is on this one, the parliamentary dashboard. Who is winning the parliament? That's significant because in 2008, we had a major fight in this country. And Alex Egbefia, who is my guest, was involved in that fight. The fight in 2008 was that the MPP was claiming victory after the first round. The NDC made the point that how can you lose parliament and say that you have won the presidential? Even though constitutionally, technically, by the law, it's very, very possible. This was a major argument in 2008. And they also made the point, how can you win 2 regions and say that you have won the election? That's why the parliamentary dashboard is important tonight. It is possible for a party in Ghana one party to win presidential, the other one to win parliament. It's possible. But the propaganda that has gone in and the narrative that we have spread over this matter is going to be tested tonight in this election. Whether the party that wins the presidential will win the parliament, or whether the party that wins parliament will win the presidential. So the most important thing, parliamentary dashboard, keep the number in mind. After 2 seats declared, we are still on 32. Annexed, so you change the annex, NDC has annexed 1 from MPP, and MPP has annexed 1 from NDC. So our parliamentary dashboard remains on 32. Okay, let's go to our guest. Let's start with you, Alex. This must be a surprise to the NDC. Your stronghold has been punctured. Hohoi has been delivered by John Peter Amewu in a manner that is appreciative to the MPP, and it should be shocking to the NDC, isn't it?
Well, not really. The MPP clearly targeted a number of seats in the Old Volta region.
Old Volta, Lower Volta.
No, when I say Old Volta region, you know, Volta and OT.
OT, yes.
Because
So,
you might remember where there's Hohoi sits.
Hohoi is in the middle there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right before you start
and
OT.
you know that there are certain areas, certain constituencies that couldn't even vote parliamentary because of this new demarcation that came about, which falls in that Hohoi belt.
No, say that again. They couldn't vote in parliamentary elections?
Yeah. There is a whole district which, because of the new demarcation, about 4 or 5 days ago, the EC came out and made it clear that they can vote in presidential, but they cannot vote in parliamentary.
Why their districts didn't fall in
because
any parliamentary constituency?
It has not been properly configured into one or the other constituency.
Based on the creation of the new region?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
We didn't know this.
Yeah, so it's important for us to go a little bit into that. I don't have the legal, and that's why I'm being very cagey with, or I'm being very restrained in what I'm saying. But if you look, it's a whole district area where the voting there was strictly on presidential, not parliamentary. They were not allowed to vote in parliamentary.
Allowed to?
No, they couldn't, because they didn't fall into one or the other by the creation of the new region. It was something that has been going on for quite a bit since the creation of the new regions. So there's a legal basis for it, and the reason why we have, but we are where we are. And that is what has occurred. Now, so we always knew there were always going to be difficulties with that area. And we've had concerns about it for a while. We also understood that the constituencies that had been targeted, a lot of the targeting took different forms and different formats. And so we were clear in our mind that we had a lot of work to do in those constituencies to maintain them because of what was going on in those constituencies. So yes, it looks like a big issue, but for some of us, it could happen based on what was happening and all the things that had happened in that area with regard to the creation of the new regions, with regard to how people were going to be in one area or not, as the case may be. And that in itself was part of the issues that we have. So, okay, it's happened, if that is the case. But I have no doubt that when the postmortem is done and things are looked at properly, it will be like some other seats we know. This is not the first time the NDC has lost. I mean, the reason why you're very interested in it is that it's, Volta region.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not the first time. In the old Volta region, which is now part of the, now we say OT, in the OT region, the MPP won Akan. Akan seat was a seat they'd won before. So it's not something that has not happened.
Won it before, yes.
Yeah. So winning the seat, it's like being a president. It's one thing to be a president and say you're going to win the next election. President Akufo-Addo is sweating. He's not sure he's going to do it or he's going to do it. So it's one thing to win it, another thing to maintain it. So we have seen them win Akan. We took it back. We've seen them come back again to win Akan again. Fine. We intend to take it back again. So it twos and fro's. But when you look at the total number of seats in Volta region, the reason why it's a big thing is that the MPP never wins a seat in that area because of, it's like the same with Ashanti. But we've taken back some seats in Ashanti this time round. And
you won more than 4?
I suspect we are on 5, but that is, let's wait for the confirmation. The reason I have not responded to my colleague is that the time for propaganda is over. Now we are dealing with figures.
Absolutely.
So you can wish to win and have all the anxiety about
and figures don't lie.
And yeah, but at the end of the day, we have to crunch the figures, and the figures to tell us where we are or where we are not. We have to win 32 seats. It's no small order.
It's a big swing.
It's a big swing.
To keep what you have and
keep what you have, and so. But we've seen that we are moving in the right direction, with especially in the central region, where we had only 4 seats out of the 23. And we've seen that we've got possibly 5 or 6.
Well, there's rumors that Felix Ofosu-Kwakye may have lost. That's one of the ones you were targeting.
Well, there's rumors that he's also won. So
okay, yeah, that's why
that's why I'm saying that.
Let's wait.
As for talking, we can talk, but let's not deal with the reality.
There's rumors that Kesela Tufosi may have maintained his seat
against
also, the odds.
And my rumors are the same as yours, so maybe there's a better rumor. But in the same way that we've also heard that there's a tight battle now in the railway minister's constituency.
Yes, the polling station numbers that were coming in for Isikado Keten was giving President Akufo-Addo almost with every polling station about 25 percentage points over his parliamentary candidate.
Yes.
It was looking very interesting.
Yes.
Why Akufo-Addo is getting in some polling stations 300 and his parliamentary candidate gets 70.
Well, that's
looking
what I'm
interesting.
That,
but in all cases, he was leading Dr. Grace Ayensu, but very marginally.
So the point is that you have to look at it in terms of margins. Even on the presidential front, you have to bear in mind that, one pulls the other. The parliamentary goes up and it somehow pulls the presidential. In some cases, the presidential goes up and it pulls the parliamentary with it. In some cases, the two are totally divergent. So you have to then look at each constituency and the dynamics that are happening there that is creating the whole issue. You can't just have a one size fits all in the kind of analysis that you're trying to do. From what I am, the trend that is coming, you will find that the gaps between President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo, as of 2016 to now, I humbly submit, are not as wide, even in seats that President Akufo-Addo is winning. But President Mahama is maintaining the gaps that he had when, in 2016, that he won, and the gaps. So, in a backward way, he's creeping in on that majority. He's creeping in on that majority that President Akufo-Addo had. So, it's early days yet. I am more interested in the figures and what they are saying and then trying to do some projection. But as to say, sitting here saying, oh, I've won an election, that was for Friday. Friday when we were all still campaigning, we've passed that now. The figures are there. No matter how much I wish to win, it's not going to change. The 1 + 1 = 2. So let's deal with that.
Dr. Richard Ahangba, so the Peter Mewu's matter, Alex Sebefi has analyzed it in a very interesting way. First of all, that the number of people who make the constituency has changed dramatically. And he thinks that may have been to the benefits of Amewu. Earlier on, we talked about campaign financing, which Hohoe people have seen a significant rise over and above what they've ever seen before in terms of how much work Amewu has done in the constituency. And he said MPP have taken constituencies in Upper Volta, the Akan areas before, and NDC has taken it back. So for him, this one could be taken back. But for us, on the media level, it's a major, major event. What is it for you?
Well, your estimation of the issue is right. His is very political, which means that it is to make it easy for him to analyze. You see, when you look at the Volta region, okay, forgive the exit of OT. We're looking at Volta region proper, all right, as it exists. It was 18 seats to 0, okay? Then, historically, MPP in this Fourth Republic wins a seat in the Volta region. That's a big deal. That's like a big earthquake that has happened. And in appreciating it, you need to minimize it if you are NDC to say, oh, this is a normal thing that happened in democracy. But it's not, okay? It's real. For a long time in this Fourth Republic, they've been winning in Ashanti region, but MPP has never won anything in the Volta region. So this is big. Even if it was just one, okay, margin, the margin was just 1 vote before, it was significant that we won it. Every 1 vote MPP wins in the Volta region, the NDC wins about 100 or more. So to come back and turn that deficit into a positive margin to win the seat is fantastic. It demonstrates what work has been done. It shows you that really the Volta region is changing and realizing that indeed elections have consequences, and when they vote for people, the people must serve them. Paul, you know, I was thinking about this, that what if we don't win Hohoe? As a person from the Volta region, it would have made me understand that my people, we are just voting because we're voting for a political party, not for our interests. But Hohoe have demonstrated clearly that in the Volta region, the NPP can win. The NPP can break into the Volta region if we demonstrate work, okay, and focus and show that really we are in to keep the gains that we have made. Right now, you see the work done there by the energy minister.
Yeah.
And my brother, my senior brother is calling it, oh, this is turning it into a crime. But that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you are elected to do. And that's what the NDC...
But he wasn't elected, he was a minister of energy.
No, I'm talking about the NDC.
Okay.
They have been elected in the Volta region to parliament by a landslide for years. And they have not worked. And suddenly, the people realized that, okay, in fact, when you vote for people, they are supposed to serve you. And this party we've been voting for don't serve our interest. And now they've decided to change. So for me, it's good. And it reflects the objectivity of the people. It goes to say that indeed the voter region is changing and is changing for good. And the NDC must take note of that. You see, one thing before I go to the SAL issue, the idea that we had a discussion about it in this country a while ago, that you cannot win presidential and then lose parliament, Hohwe again demonstrate that fact. Amawu wins the parliamentary, and from what we're getting, the numbers in terms of presidential goes in favor of the NDC. So you can clearly, you can win parliamentary seats, but then lose the presidential elections in some instances, and you're able to govern this country. And again, Paul, let's not make that mistake and say it's a hard and fast rule to say that you must win parliamentary majority, you must win presidential to be able to go with it. And therefore, if you don't, then it's a probability that you have not won the presidential. So that case has been proven wrong here in the case of Hohwe. And so it's not even a conversation to be had now. Okay. The case with SAL, the idea was to, create a constituency which I guess is still in the works. And so the consensus that was reached based on the people's fear that, okay, well, if we vote under Boehm, which was where they were going to be added to and where they voted the presidential under, they felt that it would then mean that they were attached to Boehm instead of reviving or hoping that they would become a constituency one day. So that was the reason they resisted the idea of voting a parliamentary candidate, but they voted a presidential, which is a national constituency. So they did that. And so it really did not affect Hohwe in any way that Amawu won that seat. So Amawu won on merit, and Hohwe, the SAL situation is only for purposes of maintaining the hope of having a constituency post-2020. So I think that if we're looking on average, what has happened in Hohwe, I think that is what is going to reverberate throughout this country, that the MPP is winning seats that the NDC had in ways that the NDC itself did not even imagine. The results from Ketu North is not conclusive yet, but it shows there that our performance is actually very hopeful. So we most likely, I'm just being hopeful at this point, that we can take that seat probably, most likely. But if not, we would have come so close that it is within grasp for the MPP. So this election is showing us that the electorate in this country is changing, and they are voting for their interests and not for political parties per se. They are becoming even more rational, that over the years we are choosing to make a choice that impact us. We are beginning not to just hear and believe, but we are beginning to hear and act on the saying that elections have consequences, and therefore you must vote for the outcome you are looking for. And so when you see this, from what has happened from 2016, when people thought that free SHS was a dream, free SHS was something we must leave for posterity 20 years down the line to try, they realized that if we have the confidence and if we believe in ourselves enough to say that, yes, we'll give somebody a choice, the chance to vote that person to try and do something we believe can be done. We believe, whether or not we believe can be done, but we have confidence that he can do it. Then you vote Nana Dango Kufuor in 2016, and he's actually truly able to implement free SHS in a manner that has never been done on a national scale before. That, for me, is what is informing the choice in this election 2020, where people are voting in places.
I've just received a call. I saw that I was on the phone.
Okay.
Alexander Segbefi Alego. Jogate says I should tell you that he has a commanding lead, and I should tell my viewers that the polling stations that I talked about were polling stations that are in the NDC, the few NDC areas. That he's in a sure commanding leader, Sikado Keten, and that everything is fine. So that's from Jogate.
I'm surprised he called.
Yeah, he's watching.
He's very desperate.
No, he said he's getting calls. He's not watching. He said everybody's calling him.
Well, just let it go.
Adom-Otchere said that he's losing. And people are concerned that Alex said, "Are you losing?"
Did I say?
And they said the host also said that polling stations that are coming out, Akufo-Addo is doing better than you. So the Honorable Jogate says that.
This is why I don't like to go into the realms of speculation.
No, but it's okay. I mean, it's not.
But it's fine. He's not upset. He's not upset.
If you are committed in it.
But he's calling from Second D. He says his phone is ringing like crazy.
but you know, Paul, it's because it's a fluid situation, right?
It is.
We're all
grasping just numbers. Commenting. You know, so.
No, but I had polling stations where. Yeah. So he says that those polling stations are in the NDC places.
Yeah. Okay. So it's true.
So it's true that Akufo-Addo was doing better than him, but it's in NDC stage places. So Akufo-Addo is actually doing well in those NDC places, better than President Mahama. He's not doing as well. Yeah. But overall, his lead is unassailable.
Okay. Yeah. And so that's exactly, he confirms your point. You're saying that perhaps, he may not be doing so well in that area. And he's just saying that he's doing well. On balance, he's doing well. And those are just parts.
Let me take HS's view about this one, and then I'll take a break, and then we continue, because we have to put our coffee plates on our table. Eche, Amewu's victory.
Yes.
You've heard both sides.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it cannot be underplayed. It's the first time that we've had the MPP. Of course, they've had their can if you do the old northern thing, the old Volta thing. Yeah. But when you have the new whatever, it's really the first time. If you ask me, it's going to be one of the biggest takeaways, the biggest topics of conversation or communication that people are going to talk about when the entire election is over. This is going to be one. If you're going to ask me top 3 talkaways or issues of conversation, I think this is going to be one of the big ones. And if you go on social media, Amewu is definitely trending. So I do think it's a big deal. He came in lands and forestry, and then later on energy added to.
But this is a seat he has contested for before.
Before, right.
Yes. And lost.
And lost, yes. Heavily. I don't know about heavily. But what is important for us, and guys, I hope you are getting ready for me. You have to be ready soon. I'm coming to you.
Yeah. And
what is important is the swing. 28,000 deficits wiped away in the next election 4 years later. Yes. In Ghana.
Right.
I mean, that's serious.
So that's a big deal.
What could have changed the people's minds so dramatically? I mean, you can't buy 28,000 votes physically with 100 cities each. Yeah. You must have a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has that kind of money.
No, I don't think so.
I think that
Alex is quiet about the money, so we can.
I think so.
He was.
You think 28,000 people can be given 100 cities to vote, and they will?
Well, all I know is that there was a lot of things flowing in Hawaii, so it's okay. Just leave it at that.
Well, it was development. We saw it.
Well,
roads.
If you say so.
Especially roads.
Yeah. If you say so.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then they also remember that he had won the best performing minister during the term.
At the lands and
yes,
forestry.
yeah, before he even got into energy. The president, by giving him an additional portfolio, it was indicative that he was very happy with the work he was doing. Very hard-working minister as well. And also, if you look at he himself, what he did in the constituency to win, I've just lost my trail of. There was one more factor I was going to say why he probably won.
We're talking about social media. When we come back, we'll talk about George Anda. Okay, so on our screen is John Peter Amewu over there, the man we're talking about.
So I'm just saying that he's very hard-working minister. And yes, I was going to say he had the presidency behind him. The presidency. If you compare to, let's say, Dade Kotopong, for instance, when, what's the name again?
Odote.
Yeah, he was taken out of his position, and then and then the primaries were held. I mean, it's not explicit, but if you want to look at the meaning, the interpretation of it, what it symbolizes, it probably didn't augur well for him, right, in Dade Kotopong. And that's the opposite you find with Amewu. I think it's clear that the president has a lot of confidence in him. He has worked so hard in his portfolios, and the people in Hawaii probably saw that and said, well, hey, this is one minister that we probably have faith or we have hope in him, and let's give him a try. So we shouldn't also ignore that factor as well.
Okay. Let me look at the dashboard and we come back and talk about George Anda, still on the same ministry. What could have occasioned George Anda's defeat in Utu Senya by Hannah Tete's sister? We'll talk about that. I'm ready for you guys. Can I check do you have something? Okay, so yes. Okay, so viewers, we are back on the parliamentary dashboard. Just before we take a break, remember 32 is the magic number. We have to put a few things in now. So the number of seats that NDC has annexed from MPP, we will have to call Adom-Otchere and Navrongo that has just come in. So Navrongo Central is a seat that has just come in. The candidate has conceded defeat. The MPP candidate has conceded defeat. It's a seat held by the MPP, but it's not a seat held by the same candidate. This is Kofi Ada, the Minister for Aviation, who lost his primaries. And there again, I'll come to you, panel. Let's talk about all of these primaries. You know, the MPP's primaries were organized in a certain way within the context of COVID, and it was organized very nearly the time of the election. It was organized in April, something like that. Kofi Ada was defeated in the event. The lady who won has today lost the Navrongo seat. The NDC have won. So NDC have annexed 2 seats as we have. The Adom-Otchere seat and the Navrongo seat, that's 2 for them. They have lost Hohoy, so that's 2-1. Let's see what the dashboard says. What's the time now? Nearly midnight, and we are on the parliamentary dashboard. We are checking what's happening. NDC need to win 32 directly from the MPP without losing any of what they have, and then they will win it. So where would we be? Where would we be? NDC have annexed 2. You need to put the 2 there. Can you put it there now? We need a bit of time. Okay. Can you show them? Can you show them who I'm talking to, please? Yes, that's the guy I'm talking to. The guy's smiling. He's the one I'm talking to. He needs to input the figures quickly so that we can have it done. All right. So let's take a short break, very short break now. During the break, I'm coming to make a call to Ladade Kotopon, where our man has been paging me big time. It looks like there's something happening there. Dr. Sikanko talked about it. We'll get Ade Kotopon, we'll get Osu, we'll sort of get an idea and see if we can make some projections for the night. Stay on our parliamentary dashboard. We'll be right back. This is Metro TV's Election Central.
So this is Metro TV. It's happening at the Arts Center. There's going to be a lot of fireworks here tonight because this is the Collation Center for the Korle-Klottey constituency. The battle is between Dr. Zanetta Rawlings and Prince of the New Patriotic Party. Dr. Rawlings is the incumbent parliamentary candidate, and all over Osu, most of the polling stations are returning a victory for her. This constituency must, however, wait for the results from Asylum down at the Braka, the Arts Center, to make a determination. These young men here are very excited about a long night of counting ballots. So I'm going to ask them who is going to win the election here. Let's hold it. It will be an election. Yeah, be a number by. Namo believe I can number 1 by winning. So you've seen it, largely supporters of Dr. Zanetta Rawlings expecting her and John Dramani Mahama to win this constituency. Korle-Klottey is one of those we are looking at tonight because in the last election, it returned a skirt and blouse voting. Nana Addo Akufo-Addo won the election in the constituency, but in Parliament, Dr. Rawlings was given the nod by the constituents. This time, it's another tall constituency. So we are watching to see what happens. Who did you vote for?
Too short.
So this is the art center. The art center in Osu is actually part of the Osu Kinkanwe electoral area. As we said to you before, there are two electoral areas in Osu here, Osu Kinkanwe and Osu Alata. They always return a very heavy verdict for the NDC candidate. What we are watching out tonight is whether the over 10,000 margin that the Osu Kinkanwe and Osu Alata returned for the NDC candidate will be repeated tonight. We'll bring you reports also from Masala down at Dabraka, but at 9 o'clock, we will be ready to make a projection on this constituency. Last song. So a lot more coming to you. I've just come back and my crew, we have just come back from the Ashanti region. All night we are going to tell you what's going to happen. 9 o'clock is the place to be. Metro TV. We will be live in the studio with all the reports and we'll tell you what each report means. Thank you very much. Let's take a last song for them and then we go.
Patrol me Kate in Josu Ringway. Voting time me top peace. You walk out to a vote to tape. Yashian, no abotwe. Cafe gidi. One small peace. One time no family. Ekome gidi akaba. A pledge for peace.
My name is David Nathi. My brothers, this election, no be giddy. Right after voting, go house and go relax. At the end of the day, be one country. If you mess up for we all. A pledge for peace. Cheers.
I'm say about what time I have about 2 hours. About 3 hours here soon be. If you see Ghana near or Ghana back up any Ghana meaning. Say the BCCCR, any baby acquire any man on whom better home. Yeah, Mamma dear, and Cabit me Ganu by any and my fan on Befa. See an abaton, so called 2 days. Or Pabet me a cotton fee. Yabuboria. What did you be winning now? Our fan is you be winning be a man Ghana and Eddie Kunim. Ts. Ramoa Mutuya, Mumodia, Namuya Senior. As we gave about man, am I at me at Roman? No, my Ghana, Ede. Scania, and as woman, we peace room. You may assume ye, dear baby, and assume you who near the again. Ts. Rama, Munye, Adebia, a dear soon gave about Mangana. I may have 120, Adom-Otchere. I prayed for peace for Ghana, my motherland.
Toku kuda dema, big bona voting de. But the kukuna mi be Ghana the kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina ne mi awodeka. Ne mi be mi ava voter, ne mi vote ba. Me yi mi papa oma. Eh ne o declare winner. Yo kata mi acho asile mi papa ma the kukuna mi. Ghana, I repeat, the kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
Ilasi ya waga alala, mita kukuna mi, mitibe never vote kula na gala wuhoma. Magava no gama, ano nya oglomo, ako hehehe arakavel. Na vote ayi, eva wo vote pe. Mada kukuna, va gala wuhoma, na nudugala, dunu, na va mla ila wuhoma. Maga dogobe. Yeah, Titagala Gama. I know I'm more confused more. I'm more the Tulago Pinwo. Mida Kukumiti Harakala Ghana. Miti Ben the Siade Nai blow. Mount Tonako Fafa. Ava election. Now a winila. Not Oyo, yeah, winila. I want to bless. Number winila. Woblow. Miti Ajrada Kalagana. Miti be Mount Fafa. Na van election. And the sea de now blow. Miti Toma Fafa. Miti the cow. Miokata Ghana Tominya. Amada Kama Traffic Arako. Ghana view minya. Eta Minaya be Ghana view. I press for peace. Amen.
Election over fear. It's a need one not to enjoy. Get to enjoy bear one year one he. A come fame okay bear. one small to enjoy a man. Not been on my carriage. Care o nine. What fit to more Christopher, Bonnie care to more ake, no fiano di koya ote, or ya vote to Bena, promotion Benoya, Adom-Otchere no koya fe giddy. She to enjoy the tower for small basa famo. Ye man, one small come famo, care come famo bear, it was no limit time my wage. I press for peace.
Hi Ghana, my name is Houdini Emmanuel Lolistowell. I am a citizen of Ghana and I'm come from the Volta region. I am here to educate my fellow Ghanaians. It's an election year and we have to go and vote wisely. No chaos, no fighting. Peace is all that we need. With peace, this country can move forward. I pledge for peace. One love.
Cikin December kuma za mu to aba. Muna son komi duka yi fine. Muna roƙon Allah komi duka yi fine. Mu yi vote nan da sannu mu fara da bismillah. Mu kare da alhamdulillah. I pledge for peace.
To kuku da dema, mi gbona voting de. Mada kuku na mi be, Ghana de kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina na mi awodeka, na mi ibe mi ava voter, na mi vote ba, mi ayi mi papa oma. Eye na o declare winner, yo kata mi acho asele mi papa, mada kuku na mi. Ghana, I repeat, de kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
My name is David Nathi. My brothers, this election, no be giddy. Right after voting, go house and go relax. At the end of the day, be one country. If you mess up for we all. I pledge for peace. Cheers.
I'm say about what time I have about 2 hours. About 2 hours here soon be. If you see Ghana near or Ghana back up any Ghana meaning. Say the BCCCR, any baby aqua, any a man on whom better home. Yeah, Mamma dear, and Kavit me Gano by any and my fan on Befa. See an abaton, so called 2 years. Oh, Pabet me a cotton fee. Yabuboria. What did you be winning now? Our fan is you be winning be a man Ghana and Eddie Kunim. Ts. Remoa Mutuya, Mumodian, Namu yes, and ye. As from Gaba or man, am I at me at Roman, Roman Ghana, Ede, Scandinavia, and so man, we peace room. You assume ye baby and assume you who near the edging. Ts. Remoa, Munye, Adibia, a dear soon gave about Mangana. I may have one to Adom-Otchere. I paid for peace for Ghana, my motherland.
To kuku da dema, mi gbona voting de. Mada kuku na mi be, Ghana de kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina na mi awodeka, na mi ibe mi ava voter, na mi vote ba, mi ayi mi papa oma. Eye na o declare winner, yo kata mi acho asele mi papa, mada kuku na mi. Ghana, I repeat, de kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
Election wago alala. Mita kukuna mi. Mitibe never vote kula na gala wo homa. Magava no gama. Ano nya oglomo. Ako hehehe arakavel. Na vote ayi. Eva wo vote pe. Mada kukuna va gala wo homa. Na nu du gala dunu. Na va mla la wo homa. Maga dogobe. Ye ya titagala gama. Ano amo confuse mo. Amo ava de tula go pinwo. Mida kukumiti hehe arakala Ghana. Miti pen de siade na iblow. Maunto na ko fafa. Ava election na a winila. No oyo ye winila. I want jubilate. Na ma winila wo blow. Miti adrada kala Ghana. Miti be maunto fafa na van election and the sea de na wo blow. Miti toma fafa, miti the cow. Miokata Ghana to minya. Amara kama trafi arako. Ghana view minya. Eta minaya be Ghana view. I press for peace. Amen.
Okay, so welcome to our first major report from the Ashanti region. We are here in the Ejuso constituency, and this is the town of Kwamo in one of the electoral areas. Now, there's a lot going on in the Ashanti region, and both parties are interpreting it separately. Now, the NDC is getting excited here in Ashanti, and they are suspecting that there's low voter turnout in Ashanti at this stage. The MPP, however, are explaining that because the Electoral Commission has divided polling stations and added more polling stations, the activity at most polling stations have slowed down if you compare to 2016. They say, therefore, that it's not a low voter turnout, but it is just the polling stations that have multiplied. Over the next few hours, we'll continue our walk in Ashanti region to tell you what's happening. Now, this constituency is important because the MPP changed their candidate. They changed their candidate here from the Mr. Honorable Adom-Otchere, who is the incumbent, who is the deputy minister at Rhodes. He is the original candidate, and he lost the primaries to young man, bright man, John Kuma, who is the new candidate. So, because the NDC have changed, the MPP have changed their candidate, we are starting from here to look at the enthusiasm with which party people are approaching the polls. It was quite an acrimonious and feisty sort of Congress that elected John Kuma over Adom-Otchere. So we are checking it out, how that may affect voting one way or the other. So this is the Ejuso constituency. Now, there are two polling stations right here. The polling station across from me and the one I'm standing in is number 1 and number 2. So over there, it's about, it's 2 o'clock right now, is it? Yes, it's about 2 o'clock right now. 400 people have registered to vote in the polling station over there.
Actually, Kate, in Josu Ringway, voting time, me top piece. You walk out to have vote to tape, Yashian, no abotue, cafe gidi. One small piece, one time, one family, Ekome, gidi akaba, a pledge for peace.
My name is David Nati. My brothers, this election, no be gidi. Right after voting, go house and go relax. At the end of the day, be one country. If you mess up for we all. A pledge for peace. Cheers.
I'm say about what time aso. I have to aba. About to aba to here should be. If you see Ghana near or Ghana back up any Ghana meaning. Say gidi BCC any baby akwa ya ireni ya manu na omo betre ho. ye mema de nka ebetimi adwane ba ye yin ni ye ma emfa no mbefa ti si ana bato no so okoto de wi a opa betimi akotena fi ye bobo wi a o ti de obewi ni na wa fa ne sa de obewi ni bia e o manga na edi nkunim ti esre mo a mutu wi a momomodin a na mo ye se ne asumdwe beba o manum ama yetimi atra o manum no man Ghana ede scan ni ana so man no peace wom ye onya ya asumdwe de be bia na ya asumdwe hu ne ye de edwen ti esre mo a munye ade bia ede asumdwe beba o man Ghana ama ye hu ato en edamase I prayed for peace for Ghana, my motherland.
Tokuku dedema, big bona voting de. But the kukuna mi be Ghana the kapako ele miesi. Tamina nemi awodeka. Nemi ibi mi ava voter. Nemi vote ba. Mi imi papa oma. Eye ne o declare winner. Yokata mi acho asele mi papa. But the kukuna mi Ghana. I repeat the kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
Election ya waga alala. Mi ta kukuna mi. Mi tibe never vote tukula na gala wo homa. Magava no gama. Ano nya oglomo. Ako hehehe arakavel. Na vote ayi. Eva wo vote pe. Mada kukuna va gala wo homa. Na nudu gala dunu. Na va mla ila wo homa. Maga dogobe. Ye ya titetsegala gama. Ano amo confuse mo. Amo ava de tula go pinwo. Mida kukumiti hehe arakala Ghana. Miti pende siade na iblow. Maunto na ko fafa. Ava election na winila. No oyo ye winila. Ewa jubilate. Na ma winila wo blow. Miti adrare kala Ghana. Miti be maunto fafa na van election and the sea de na wo blow. Miti toma fafa miti the cow. Miokata Ghana to minya. Amara kama trafi arako. Ghana view minya. Eta minaya be Ghana view. I press for peace. Amen.
Election over fear. Esani wana twinjole. Ke toli jole be wo hinshi. Eko me femo ke be ehin wo won small twinjole ye man. Na agbena wono ni marriage peji. Ke o ni ne wo fe to mo Christofonyo boni ke to mo ake no fiano di ko ya ote o ya vote ogbena komo si agbena ya ka do mo si kura no ko ya fe gidigidi si to njole wo tawo wo sumo basa fe mo ye ma na mi wo sumo ko me fe mo ke ko me fe mo be ehin e wo no ni mita ma wi ejima I press for peace.
Hi Ghana, my name is Houdini Emmanuel Lolistowell. I am a citizen of Ghana and I'm come from the Volta region. I am here to educate my fellow Ghanaians. It's an election year and we have to go and vote wisely. No chaos, no fighting. Peace is all that we need. With peace, this country can move forward. I pledge for peace. One love.
Cikin December kuma za mu to Aba. Muna son komi duka yi fine. Muna roƙon Allah komi duka yi fine. Mu yi vote nan da sannu-sannu mu fara da bismillah. Mu kare da alhamdulillah. I pledge for peace.
Tokuku dedema, big bona voting de. Mede kuku na mi be Ghana de kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina na mi awodeka. Na mi ibe mi ava voter, na mi vote ba. Mi ayi mi papa oma. Eye na o declare winner. Yo kata mi acho asele mi papa mede kuku na mi. Ghana, I repeat, de kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
Okay, so welcome to our first major report from the Ashanti region. We are here in the Ejuso
say about what time aso. I have a betu aba. About to ya aba betu here should be. If they see Ghana near or Ghana back up any Ghana meaning. Say the BCCA. Any baby acquire any manu no who better home. Ye may maddy and cabit me Ghana by any and my fan on Befa. See an abaton, so called 2 days. O pabet me a cotton fee. Yabuboria. What did you be winning now? Our fan is a Doberry need the air or Mangana and Eddie Kunim. Tiesremo Mutuya, Mumodia, Namuya Senior. As we gave a bow man, am I at man? No, my Ghana, Ede, Scandinavia, and so man, we peace room. You may assume ye baby, and I assume you who near the again. Tiesremo, Munye, Adibia, a dear soon gave a bow man Ghana. I may have one to Adom-Otchere. I paid for peace for Ghana, my motherland.
Tokuku dedema, big bona voting de. Mede kuku na mi be Ghana de kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina na mi awodeka. Na mi ibe mi ava voter, na mi vote ba. Mi ayi mi papa oma. Eye na o declare winner. Yo kata mi acho asele mi papa mede kuku na mi. Ghana, I repeat, de kakoyo. I pledge for peace.
Welcome to the most comprehensive, insightful, and modern election day coverage of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV's Election Central. Here is your history.
So this is the election, the Ghana election race since 1992, about to get underway. J.J. Rawlings and the NDC Gulf One decked in green, white, and red colors, and Albert Edwin in the other, red, blue, and white colors. And this is number 1992. Away they go. The race is on. Not a great start for the MPP. JJ is in the lead. He is opening the gap. He is winning. JJ has won the race. And he's won the election. NDC wins.
So help me God. So help me God.
The year is 1996. And the opening lap of the Ghana election race is about to begin. And this time around, J.A. Kufuor comes onto the ballot, the new candidate for the NPP. This promises to be a very fast race. Who gets the bragging rights? All cars are in position now, and it's on in earnest. And J.A. Kufuor has started well, threatening to win. He seems formidable and holding on, but here comes the experienced J.J. Rawlings. J.J. and the NDC have taken the lead. J.J. seems to be winning. He's driving pretty fast, going quickly around the bend. J.J. is winning. And he has actually won the race. He has won the re-election. Second time running consecutively.
Candidate J.J. Rawlings is hereby declared the winner of the presidential election 1996.
My brother
The year 2000 brought with it the first big change. JJ is no longer on the ballot. Enter Vice President Professor Mills to challenge J.A. Kufuor, the veteran. The battle-tested and now-furious candidate behind the wheel. The race starts amidst great expectations in both camps, with Professor Adam Mills in the lead. But then J.A. Kufuor fights back. And takes over. This is looking good for the MPP. Kufuor is leading. But wait a minute. The MPP and the NDC must go into a second round of voting and racing. A photo finish that needs a run to determine a clear winner. Kufuor versus Mills, round 2. December 28th. Kufuor takes an early lead. He's driving really fast. Great driving skills there. Exhibited by J.A. Kufuor. The race is over. It is well and truly over. And J.A. Kufuor has been elected the 3rd president of the 4th Republic. Remarkable turn of events. Kufuor was returned in 2004, which he won. And then came the big one in 2008. This was a Kufuor representing Team NPP and driving a sleek Morris Minor with newer technology and mind-blowing speed, pitting his might and strength against J.A. Mills. The race begins on 7th of December. Kufuor leads the race. Oh yes, he leads and he is leading. This is looking good for him. But no, he is not getting to the finishing line. What's happening here? Deary me. What's happening here? Kufuor couldn't make it. He couldn't make it to the finishing line. So for the second time in the 4th Republic, the election goes into a second round. It's the NDC versus the NPP again. Kufuor is in the lead, but here comes Mills. What a move by Professor Mills, and he appears to be winning. Oh yes, J.A. Mills has become the 4th president of the 4th Republic of Ghana. No two ways about that. Mills is the winner.
I, John Evans Arthur Mills, do in the name of the Almighty.
Then came 2012. For the very first time, John Mahama is on the ballot with the Kufuor. JM has replaced Mills as president and as Team NDC candidate. The race starts on December 7th. Kufuor takes the lead. It's looking good for the MPP, but no, looks like Mahama will overtake him. And yes, he actually has. He has overtaken the Kufuor. He has overtaken the MPP. It's looking good for the NDC. John Dramani Mahama is doing quite well, driving really well, and he has won the race. JM is the new president of Ghana. He is the new president of Ghana. He has won the race. But wait a minute. Something is happening here. We need to have something clarified. What is the matter? Oh, Kufuor is going to the Supreme Court. He is going to challenge the election. He is going to challenge the election. Well, the challenge was not successful, and the Kufuor has now congratulated JM for winning the election. Wow, pretty much of a relief to most onlookers as tensions ease up.
Whilst I disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I accept that what the court says brings finality to the election dispute.
Now here is 2016. All is set for a big race. A great race indeed. Expectations are really high. What are you expecting on your side? It's going to be a great one. Bang, and away they go. Kufuor takes an early lead. He is stretching the lead. This is looking good for the MPP. Kufuor is driving really well, opening the gap, doing quite well around the bend, holding up pretty well. Are we going to see a change? Are we going to see him win? Will he win? Yes, he's driving, opening up the gap, speeding really well. He is going to win. He looks like he's going to do it. And oh yes, he wins. And he wins by a great margin. A landslide victory. Nana Kufuor has been elected president by a landslide. The first opposition candidate to do so. It's a landslide.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Very proud.
After all is said, 2020 promises another exciting race. Vote wisely, but do vote. No violence, get home and watch the most exhilarating team for election broadcast. It's Metro TV's Election Central. And we are physically ready.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami.
We are ready.
are you going to be voting for? Are you going to vote for this man, the incumbent president, or that man, the former president? Or are you going to vote for any other candidate? And we're going to analyze the ramifications of each result. Now, that's the most insightful election day coverage in the history of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV's Election Central. Wow. What can I say? So we now know why the presidential election is quiet. The NPP are making a major projection. But the first big announcement is that the battle has started. The National Democratic Congress, the opposition party, has called a press conference at 12:30. It's about to start now. We will pick it live on this show. Alexander Segbefia is asking permission to leave. We guess he's going to join the press conference. But the NDC is calling a press conference at midnight on election night. Sami Jemfi has sent the message around. We have gotten our invitation in the studio here. We'll send a reporter there for sure. So NDC's press conference is coming on at 12:30. The NPP is making some projections. I'll tell you what projections they are making. But now there's something going on in Nalerugu, all the way in Nalerugu, that we need to relate to. It's the situation with Honorable Alima Mahama, the local government minister, our favorite minister. Let's go to Nalerugu and see what we have. You have Hohoi details here. Okay, so ignore the Hohoi details. Ignore it. Ajia Alima Mahama in 2016 won by 27,501. And Isifu Seidu came up with 23,150. So that's a difference of about 4,000 that you're seeing. We are discussing the situation with Honorable Alima Mahama. Let's take this off and then let's come back to the studio. And so what do we know now? What we know now is that what is for us a low-medium seat is now becoming a marginal, or it could even be a super marginal seat. Hajia Alima is leading by 150 votes, 150 votes, with one polling station. Richard, is it one polling station here to go? Yeah, by three. With 3 polling stations to go, she's leading by 150 votes. It's getting very, 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 very tight in there. The other race that is also getting tight is the Felix Ofosu-Kwakye race. That has 1 polling station to go, and Felix is behind by 900 votes. 1 polling station to go. So 1 polling station could bring up, in a scheme of things of what has been happening today, 1 polling station could bring up maybe 300, maybe, yeah, something like that. 1 polling station will not be 700. It's unlikely. So given the circumstances, if it's 1 polling station to go, maybe we can make a projection that the Asebu and Memphis seat has been retained by the New Patriotic Party. But let's wait a minute and come back to that. We also know of some of the losses, so we're going to go to the parliamentary dashboard and see what's happening. Let's go back to the parliamentary dashboard, and then we will see what's happening in terms of the parliamentary race, who is winning what, what's winning what. Meanwhile, we keep an eye on the clock. 12:30, Felix Ofosu, the NDC, Sami Jemfi, is calling a press conference. That's on at 12:30. He's calling a press conference at 12:30. One of our guests, H.S. Kanku, is just on the phone. And yeah, I know it's 12:30 now. I know. Maybe they said delayed. As soon as the feed comes, we'll take it live for you. Okay, so here is our parliamentary dashboard. This is where we are now. Let me bring it up a little bit. Okay, so this is where we are now. This is our parliamentary dashboard. Okay, so NDCC 000, forget about that one. Dennis, do you have information for me? Do you have information for me? Okay, all right. So sorry, one of the IT guys walked in. I thought he was coming to tell me something. But we have to take a live coverage, so you should ask MCR. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, Sami Jemfi is announcing at 12:30 press conference about now. Maybe they've delayed a bit. So once we're ready, we'll go live to them. The press conference. When the press conference starts, you should tell us and then we'll take it live. Okay. I see you are making some changes. Okay, cool. So here is the parliamentary dashboard. Let's talk about this. The most important. Of the 6 seats that we can confirm, 4 have been annexed by NDC from MPP, and MPP has taken 2 from NDC. Richard, let's know the seats. Which are the, speaking to the microphone, which are the seats that we are talking about?
So we're talking about Cape Coast North.
So Cape Coast North has gone where?
Has gone NDC.
NDC has won Cape Coast
As an
North, which was an
ex-victim.
MPP seat.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else do we have?
There is a Kumfi
Ekumfi, which was MPP, has also gone NDC. Ekumfi was a very marginal seat. It was won by 600 and something votes.
Yes.
At the last time. Okay.
Yes.
And then which other one?
There's also Nabrongo Central.
Nabrongo Central was MPP, has gone NDC.
Yeah. And then Ewutu Senya West.
Ewutu Senya West has also gone NDC. So these are the four that we can confirm has gone NDC.
Yeah.
Please go through again.
Cape Coast North.
Cape Coast North.
Ekumfi.
Ekumfi.
Nabrongo Central.
Nabrongo Central.
Ewutu Senya West.
Ewutu Senya West. Okay, so these are the four that NDC have annexed. So, Mr. IT man, can I have it? Is it going to come back? Okay, it's back. Okay. Now, MPP have annexed two from the NDC of the four that we have. Which are the two?
These are Hohoi constituency in the Volta region and Damango.
Damango and Hohoi have been taken from the NDC by the MPP. So this is where our dashboard gets interesting. So the to win for the NDC is now 30. It's no longer 32, it's now 30 because they have won 4, but they have lost 2. Now this is what we're talking about. This is how the drama of the night is going to unfold. Our magic figure is 32. It's now showing 30. They are sort of rebooting, I think. Okay, they are back with us. So in Parliament, the NDC, MPP now have to win 30. No longer 32, 30, as the night has just begun. We have a few more results we're here to confirm, but as the night has just begun, they will have to win 30 is the magic number now because MPP have picked 2 from NDC and NDC have picked 4. Let's talk about some of the other ones with our guests that week. We can't confirm, but we can talk about. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye's situation. Alex, what's happening?
And that is where I think I am having some difficulty. And I think my legal profession is making me cautious in how I speak.
Yeah.
But you see, the figures I'm getting do not tally with some of the figures that are being mentioned.
Okay.
So, for example, I'm aware that they have about 3 constituencies more. But Felix
3 polling stations.
3 polling stations more
Yeah.
in his constituency.
Yeah.
But there's a difference of about 80 with Felix Ofosu-Kwakye leading by 80, not in deficit.
8-0.
8-0.
He's leading by 8-0.
That's why it is close. Because you see, most constituencies are only 600
yes,
and
correct.
below. So if your figures were right, it would be a
Then
done
it's
deal.
over.
By now.
Yes,
it's over.
correct. I agree with that. I agree with that.
I believe the figures I'm given more than the figures that I'm hearing because we all know that it's very close there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be close if what you're saying was accurate.
That's what I thought too. I agree with that.
So
yeah.
I'm tending to go more with what I've been told from
Which
my
is that
end.
Felix is leading by 80.
Yes.
With
and
1 polling station.
with 3.
to go.
3
polling
polling stations potentially to go.
Yeah.
And if that is the case, and also the special voting.
Yes.
You see, that is almost a constituency on its own.
Yeah.
So without adding those, I don't see how with 900, if they were leading by 900 votes and there was 1.
That's it. It's over. It's a done
finished.
deal.
It's a done deal.
Richard, so does it mean your figures are wrong for Asebu?
Yeah, I need to confirm that and get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see, and that is where I think this whole press conference may, and I don't know. I don't know anything about the press conference, but I needed to have been there.
Okay.
The issue is this: when we speculate like this,
I have to interrupt you now. Sure. I think the press conference is ready. We may not come back and meet Alex here. So without much ado, viewers, let us take live now the NDC press conference. Let's take. Are we ready to go? Let's take the NDC press conference live. Welcome to the most comprehensive, insightful, and modern election day coverage of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV's Election Central. Here is your history.
So this is the election, the Ghana election race since 1992, about to get underway. J.J. Rawlings and the NDC Gulf One decked in green, white, and red colors, and Albert Edouin in the other, red, blue, and white colors. And this is November 1992. Away they go. The race is on. Not a great start for the MPP. JJ is in the lead. He is opening the gap. He is winning. JJ has won the race. And he's won the election. NDC wins.
So help me God. So help me God.
The year is 1996. And the opening lap of the Ghana election race is about to begin. And this time around, J.A. Kufuor comes onto the ballot, the new candidate for the NPP. This promises to be a very fast race. Who gets the bragging rights? All cars are in position now, and it's on in earnest. And J.A. Kufuor started well, threatening to win. He seems formidable and holding on, but here comes the experienced J.J. Rawlings. J.J. and the NDC have taken the lead. J.J. seems to be winning. He's driving pretty fast, going quickly around the bend. J.J. is winning. And he has actually won the race. He has won the re-election. Second time running consecutively.
Candidate J.J. Rawlings is hereby declared the winner of the presidential election 1996.
The year 2000 brought with it the first big change. JJ is no longer on the ballot. Enter Vice President Professor Mills to challenge J.A. Kufuor, the veteran, the battle-tested and now experienced candidate behind the wheel. The race starts amidst great expectations in both camps, with Professor Adam Mills in the lead. But then J.A. Kufuor fights back. And takes over. This is looking good for the MPP. Kufuor is leading. But wait a minute. The MPP and the NDC must go into a second round of voting and racing. A photo finish that needs a rerun to determine a clear winner. Kufuor versus Mills, round 2. December 28th, Kufuor takes an early lead. He's driving really fast. Great driving skills there. Exhibited by J.A. Kufuor. The race is over. It is well and truly over. And J.A. Kufuor has been elected the third president of the Fourth Republic. Remarkable turn of events. Kufuor was returned in 2004, which he won. And then came the big one in 2008. This was a Kufuor representing Team NPP and driving a sleek Morris Minor with newer technology and mind-blowing speed, pitting his might and strength against J.E.A. Mills. The race begins on 7th of December. Kufuor leads the race. Oh yes, he leads and he is leading. This is looking good for him. But no, he is not getting to the finishing line. What's happening here? Deary me. What's happening here? Kufuor couldn't make it. He couldn't make it to the finishing line. So for the second time in the Fourth Republic, the election goes into a second round. It's the NDC versus the NPP again. Kufuor is in the lead, but here comes Mills. What a move by Professor Mills, and he appears to be winning. Oh yes, J.E.A. Mills has become the fourth president of the Fourth Republic of Ghana. No two ways about that. Mills is the winner.
I, John Evans Arthur Mills, do in the name of the Almighty.
Then came 2012. For the very first time, John Mahama is on the ballot with the Kufuor. JM has replaced Mills as president and as Team NDC candidate. The race starts on December 7th. Kufuor takes the lead. It's looking good for the MPP, but no, looks like Mahama will overtake him. And yes, he actually has. He has overtaken the Kufuor. He has overtaken the NPP. It's looking good for the NDC. John Dramani Mahama is doing quite well, driving really well, and he has won the race. JM is the new president of Ghana. He is the new president of Ghana. He has won the race. But wait a minute. Something is happening here. We need to have something clarified. What is the matter? Oh, Kufuor is going to the Supreme Court. He is going to challenge the election. He is going to challenge the election. Well, the challenge was not successful, and the Kufuor has now congratulated JM for winning the election. Wow, pretty much of a relief to most onlookers as tensions ease up.
Whilst I disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I accept that what the court says brings finality to the election dispute.
Now here is 2016. All is set for a big race. A great race indeed. Expectations are really high. What are you expecting on your side? It's going to be a great one. Bang, and away they go. Akufo-Addo takes an early lead. He is stretching the lead. This is looking good for the NPP. Akufo-Addo is driving really well, opening the gap, doing quite well around the bend, holding up pretty well. Are we going to see a change? Are we going to see him win? Will he win? Yes, he's driving, opening up the gap, speeding really well. He is going to win. He looks like he's going to do it. And oh yes, he wins. And he wins by a great margin. A landslide victory. Nana Akufo-Addo has been elected president by a landslide. The first opposition candidate to do so. It's a landslide.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of the Republic.
number is low. What's over there? Maybe. You are giving me the sound of the press conference, or?
Welcome to the most comprehensive, insightful, and modern Election Day coverage of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV's Election Central. Here is your history.
So this is the election, the Ghana election race since 1992, about to get underway. JJ Rawlings in the NDC Golf One, decked in green, white and red colors, and Albert Edouard in the other, red, blue and white colors. And this is November 1992. Away they go. The race is on. Not a great start for the MPP. JJ is in the lead. He is opening the gap. He is winning. JJ has won the race. And he's won the election. NDC wins.
So let me go. So help me God.
The year is 1996. And the opening lap of the Ghana election race is about to begin. And this time around, J.A. Kufuor comes onto the ballot, the new candidate for the NPP. This promises to be a very fast race. Who gets the bragging rights? All cars are in position now, and it's on in earnest. And J.A. Kufuor has started well, threatening to win. He seems formidable and holding on, but here comes the experienced J.J. Rawlings. J.J. and the NDC have taken the lead. J.J. seems to be winning. He's driving pretty fast, going quickly around the bend. J.J. is winning, and he has actually won the race. He has won the re-election, second time running consecutively.
Candidate J.J. Rawlings is hereby declared the winner of the presidential election 1996.
The year 2000 brought with it the first big change. JJ is no longer on the ballot. Enter Vice President Professor Mills to challenge J.A. Kufuor, the veteran, the battle-tested and now experienced candidate behind the wheel. The race starts amidst great expectations in both camps, with Professor Adam Mills in the lead. But then J.A. Kufuor fights back. and takes over. This is looking good for the MPP. Kufuor is leading. But wait a minute. The MPP and the NDC must go into a second round of voting and racing. A photo finish that needs a rerun to determine a clear winner. Kufuor versus Mills, round 2. December 28th, Kufuor takes an early lead. He's driving really fast. Great driving skills there. Exhibited by J.A. Kufuor. The race is over. It is well and truly over. And J.A. Kufuor has been elected the third president of the Fourth Republic. Remarkable turn of events. Kufuor was returned in 2004, which he won. And then came the big one in 2008. This was a Kufuor representing Team NPP and driving a sleek Morris Minor with newer technology and mind-blowing speed, pitting his might and strength against J.A. Mills. The race begins on 7th of December. Kufuor leads the race. Oh yes, he leads and he is leading. This is looking good for him. But no, he is not getting to the finishing line. What's happening here? Deary me. What's happening here? Kufuor couldn't make it. He couldn't make it to the finishing line. So for the second time in the Fourth Republic, the election goes into a second round. It's the NDC versus the NPP again. Kufuor is in the lead, but here comes Mills. What a move by Professor Mills, and he appears to be winning. Oh yes, J.A. Mills has become the fourth president of the Fourth Republic of Ghana. No two ways about that. Mills is the winner.
I, John Evans Arthur Mills, do in the name of the Almighty.
Then came 2012. For the very first time, John Mahama is on the ballot with the Kufuor. JM has replaced Mills as president and as Team NDC candidate. The race starts on December 7th. Kufuor takes the lead. It's looking good for the MPP, but no, looks like Mahama will overtake him. And yes, he actually has. He has overtaken the Kufuor. He has overtaken the MPP. It's looking good for the NDC. John Dramani Mahama is doing quite well, driving really well, and he has won the race. JM is the new president of Ghana. He is the new president of Ghana. He has won the race. But wait a minute. Something is happening here. We need to have something clarified. What is the matter? Oh, Kufuor is going to the Supreme Court. He is going to challenge the election. He is going to challenge the election. Well, the challenge was not successful, and the Kufuor has now congratulated JM for winning the election. Wow, pretty much of a relief to most onlookers as tensions ease.
Whilst I disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I accept that what the court says brings finality to the election dispute.
Now here is 2016. All is set for a big race. A great race indeed. Expectations are really high. What are you expecting on your side? It's going to be a great one. Bang, and away they go. Akufo-Addo takes an early lead. He is stretching the lead. This is looking good for the NPP. Akufo-Addo is driving really well, opening the gap, doing quite well around the bend, holding up pretty well. Are we going to see a change? Are we going to see him win? Will he win? Yes, he's driving, opening up the gap, speeding really well. He is going to win. It looks like he's going to do it. And oh yes, he wins. And he wins by a great margin. A landslide victory. Nana Akufo-Addo has been elected president by a landslide. The first opposition candidate to do so. It's a landslide.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Very proud.
After all is said, 2020 promises another exciting race. Vote wisely, but do vote. No violence, get home and watch the most exhilarating team for election broadcast. It's Metro TV's Election Central. And we are physically ready.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze.
Oh yes, we are very ready. Who are you going to be voting for? Are you going to vote for this man, the incumbent president, or that man, the former president? Or are you going to vote for any other candidate? And we're going to analyze the ramifications of each result. Now, that's the most insightful election day coverage in the history of the Fourth Republic. It is
Actually, Kate, in Josu Ringway, voting time, me top piece. You walk out to a vote to tape, Yashian, no abotue, cafe giddy giddy. One small piece, one time, one family, Ekome, giddy giddy akaba, a pledge for peace.
My name is David Nati. My brothers, this election, no be giddy giddy. Right after voting, go house and go relax. At the end of the day, be one country. If you mess up for we all. A pledge for peace. Cheers.
I'm say about what time aso. I have about 2 hours. About 3 hours to here soon be. If you see Ghana near or Ghana back up any Ghana meaning. Say the BCC any baby akwa any manu no who better home. Yeah, memma dear and Kabit me Ganu by any my fan on Befa. See an abaton, so called 2 years. Or Pabet me a cotton fee. Yabuboria. What did you be winning now? Our fan is a baby need be a mangana and Eddie Kuni. Ts. Remoa Mutuya, Mumodia, Namuya Senior, as we gave about man, Amayatimia Troman, Roman Ghana, Ede, Scandinavia, and so man, we peace room. You may assume ye baby and assume you who near the again. Ts. Remoa, Munye, Adibia, a dear soon gave about Mangana, Amaya one twain.
Okay, welcome back. Too many things happening. So the NDC press conference just happened. We'll show you a bit of it again so we can discuss it. But I can announce to you that the MPP is calling a press conference in the next hour at 2 a.m. in the morning. It's now 10 past 1 o'clock in the morning, and the NDC is calling a press conference. So we have 60 parliamentary seats in now, but we're going to do the dashboard again and show you where we are. Okay, so on the dashboard, our 32 has come back to 32. Let me just do another quick explanation of this. So there are 32 seats. Let's figure the 32 here. 32 here is our important figure. Oh, I touched it so hard, it's turning around. Okay, so 32 here is our important figure, 32, figure 32. Why is 32 important? 32 is the number of seats that the minority in parliament must win directly from the majority to be able to win parliament. Okay, let's show it again, 32 without the election central so people can see it. Can we show it again? Take off the election central. Okay, so 32, you can see it on the screen. 32 is important. And why do I say so? 32 is important because the minority in parliament, the NDC, must win 32 seats directly from the MPP to become the minority, to become the majority in parliament. That's what we call our parliamentary dashboard. So let's see what we have. Now, many more seats have come in, but seats that come in that are important to this what you're seeing on television right now are those seats that flip, the seats that change. They will be important to what is on. So the seats that are MPP seats that they actually maintain, like what we are hearing of Ayawaso West Wogon, is not important to this dashboard. What is important to this dashboard is the seats that change hands. That's what the dashboard is calculating, and that's what we're doing now. So you see 4 for NDC, 4 for MPP. 4 is what the NDC have won, and the other 4 is what the MPP have won. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot over there. I'm sure our viewers like it. Okay, so this is the situation. We don't just have 8 seats, we have many other seats. Altogether, we have some 60 we're going to put together to you. By the time we come back from the replay of the NDC press conference, you would have it. So these 4 seats are what is making our dashboard interesting. So NDC have won 4 from MPP. Richard, I'm coming to you soon. NDC have won 4 from MPP, and MPP have won 4 from NDC. So the dashboard, after a few seats coming in over there, continues to be 32. We were on 30 the last time we left here. We are back on 32 because the MPP have clawed back. So at this stage, at 10 past 1 in the morning, dashboard is showing that NDC is still on 32. Let's go through the 8 seats that we are talking about. Those 8 seats that have changed hands, 4 here, 4 there. There are more seats that have changed hands, but we'll talk to those. We'll talk to Richard about those 8 seats. So Richard, walk us through it. Which are the 8 seats that have changed hands?
So the NDC has annexed 4 out of the 8. The NPP has annexed 4. The NDC's annexed seats are Cape Coast North.
Cape Coast North, that's Barbara AEC, has lost her seat to the NDC.
To the NDC.
Okay.
There is Ekumfi.
Ekumfi has been lost. That was a marginal seat. Cape Coast was what? Was it a medium? Maybe you should have.
That was a medium.
That was a medium, low medium.
Difference, yeah.
Okay.
A low medium.
Did you say 1,000 difference?
4,000.
4,000 difference from 2016.
From 2016.
So that's a low medium.
Yeah.
And do we know the figures of the winning now yet? The total figures?
Not yet.
We don't have it yet. Okay, so go on. So Cape Coast is lost. And then?
Navrongo Central.
Navrongo Central, it was an MPP seat. That's also lost. Okay, so the 4 that NDC have annexed. So Cape Coast North,
and then there's the last one. There's Ewutu Senya West.
Ewutu Senya West, the George Anda seat. We know that already.
Yeah.
And then?
So that's 4 for the NDC annexed seats.
With Cape Coast North, Navrongo, Ewutu Senya, and Ekumfi.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 that the NDC have won from the MPP, giving us the figure on the dashboard as 4 annexed seats from the 4 annexed seats by the NDC. Let's look at the 4 that the MPP have also taken from the NDC.
Okay, so the NPP has annexed Hohoi constituency.
Yes, that's John Peter Mewu. We talked about that.
Damongo.
Damongo, that's Abu Jinapo. We talked about that.
Daboya.
Daboya is coming in new.
Coming in new. And then the latest is Salaga North.
Salaga North.
Yeah.
So these are the 4 that the MPP have taken from the NDC. Let's go through it again.
Hohoi, Damongo, Daboya, and Salaga North.
Okay. So that brings our dashboard viewers to 32. So on the dashboard is still on 32, and by the time we come back, we're going to input more figures. Let's talk briefly to our parliamentary, our guest here. Alexander Segbefia has had to leave us. I think that he's being called to the NDC strong room. They need him over there. He says he'll be on phone to us if needs be. We'll call him. But we thank him very much for joining us on the show. We already have secured important people for tomorrow morning's 10 o'clock. Our next show is tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, so don't miss it. Okay, so let me go to you, Eche. What do you think about the movement of the dashboard so far?
So I think that on the balance, they've cancelled each other out. What I can say is that the Navrongo Central, for instance, it was clear that there was a family feud there. The aviation minister didn't have the backing of the presidency. They sent in their person who was not popular in Navrongo. And we know the history of Navrongo. It keeps switching every time. And so I guess that also, accounted for it. You look at Ewitu Senior West as well. George Anda, throughout his term, he was not overly popular. It's a constituency that has not been safe for the MPP either. And so there was always the chance that it was going to change. So, I mean, those are some of the factors. And then the last factor for the MPP could also be the late primaries that were held, which really, really went against them. And then I also include a fourth factor, which is the fact that there was the presidency protecting certain candidates, even though they were not that popular in their constituencies. And once the ground is not good, but the presidency pushes them, that might account for some of the switches in places that would have expected them to retain their constituencies. You come to the NDC side, and they were able to overtake. We've talking about Hohoi, why they were able to overtake that. The presidency, the issue of resources, we always talk about that. And of course, they were behind Amewu, so that kind of worked. Damango, again, the issue of the presidency and resources. The chief of staff heavily behind him, so that worked for them. Not too familiar with the other two, but you might be able to apply.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it as the night goes on. We'll see how it goes. Okay.
Yeah. But he might have the specifics.
We're also hearing, and our people are crunching the numbers now. We'll get to you. We are also hearing that the MPP have lost the entire coastal bit of Greater Accra region. So it's the Krowo, which is Nungwa, Lejokuku, which is Teshi. Lejokuku is still counting. I believe Krowo has finished counting. Ladade Kotopon probably has finished counting. Klote Osu is also lost, apparently. Odododio is still counting at the neck-to-neck race, and that's why at the end of the press conference, Sami JP said all the NDC supporters should march to Odododio at the coalition center and help the count and make sure that victory is secured. So that's an important factor. But we're also hearing that of the seats in the Savannah area, the MPP are winning about 4 of it. In Nalerugu, which is northeast, there are 6 seats there. MPP had 3, NDC had 3. MPP can confirm that they won 5 of it and it's left with 1. The one is Alima's seat. It's very close. It's being counted. And it appears that Alima might just edge. He's still leading by 150 and polling stations are being counted. So that's what we are hearing. It looks like Parliament is going to be a balancing act. It's going to balance out. But we still believe that the 32 is the magic number. And as the night goes on, we will see who is leading on the 32. Let's go now and see a bit of Sami Jemfi's press conference. We'll come back. We can tell you tonight that the MPP is also announcing a press conference to start at 2 a.m. It's now 17 minutes past midnight, past 1 a.m. And in 45 minutes, the MPP is announcing that they will also host a press conference. So let's see what Sami Jemfi said again at the beginning. Let's see it again.
Very important press conference. And so if you are in this auditorium and you love the NDC, the way you can show your love for the party is to remain quiet for the next 10 minutes. That is the best way to show your love for the party. Because what we are doing here is very important. The destiny of this country and generations unborn depends on what is happening here. So kindly be calm. Please put your mobile phones on silent. Just for a few minutes. When we are done, you can put it back on ringtone. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, you are all welcome to this press briefing. As always, we are grateful to you for honoring our invitation at such short notice. We really appreciate the time you have taken to be with us here at this hour. Today has been a busy day for all of us. We went for the December 7th polls. That is yesterday, because I think it is past 12 now. And so today is the 8th of December. We addressed you yesterday on some developments. Since the close of poll, results have been trickling in from polling stations across the country. And there have been other developing issues. This is supposed to be a very brief encounter. And the one who will be addressing us is none other than our hard-working, able, dynamic, charismatic, and the winning elections director of the NDC. So with a round of applause, let's welcome to the podium Comrade Elvis Afrihi Ankra to address us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sami, and greetings to all the comrades here. I see a lot of comrades and it brings me a lot of excitement. First of all, I would like to thank all Ghanaians, especially NDC supporters, for their hard work, their vigilance, and their support so far. It's not been easy, but you've proven that you are really worthy warriors for the cause. Preliminary results trickling in shows a very exciting outlook. But our victory is not complete until the last ballot is counted and collated. These preliminary results can be seen from the provisional parliamentary results so far, and some significant seats that we have swapped, some for the starting from Greater Accra. We have flipped Krowo. Flip means this is a seat that was won by the FPP in 2016 and we've gotten it back based on the circumstances. So we have flipped Krowo. We have flipped Lejobu. We have flipped Ladanekoto. We have flipped Tema East. We have flipped Adenta. We have flipped Medina. We have flipped Ablekuma Central. And we have flipped Okankwe North. This is Greater Accra. So far, 18 counting. I'm focusing on the flip ones. When it comes to the eastern region, we have maintained a lot of our seats. We have flipped Apamanya. We have flipped Apetia. Very significant. And Ayeswano, I'm told, is looking good. When it comes to the western region, we have flipped Amenfi East. We have flipped Christian Huni Valley. We have flipped Jomoro. And we have flipped Evali. When it comes to Bono East, we have flipped in Granza South. We have flipped in Granza North. We have flipped Techiman North and Techiman South. And in the western And 99% of these are not scattered loud votes, so it reflects in the presidential. So if we flip all these seats, nobody should tell you where we are heading. It's very clear. So, however, as I keep saying, no premature celebration because the coalition is still ongoing. And therefore, we charge all our counting and collating agents to be vigilant and alert. They should remain vigilant and alert in the last hours of the counting in order to secure and protect the overwhelming victory that is coming. We charge all our party supporters to move to the various coalition centers to ensure that the will and mandate of the people is not stolen. Because we've heard a lot of things, shooting and all that. When we are there in our numbers, they can't kill all of us, right? So move to the coalition centers, parliamentary candidates, executives, regional constituency party executives, go to the coalition centers and support our coalition agents. And when we do that, the victory that we have already chopped will be secured, and we know that indeed what God has started will be complete. Because the victory of the NDC is coming again, and then we will say,
Thank you very much. I'm told that some TV stations were having a problem with sound. Were you getting sound in the studios? I want to be sure if you were getting sound. You were not getting sound. So you should have prompted us. It means that everything we said is good. So which of the stations here got sound? Stations doing live. Joy got sound. What about TV3? DH1 you got sound. TV3 you got sound. Okay. And maybe we'll get to the recording later from stations which got the sound. What is it? You're telling me something there. Are we good with sound now? Or is that something that needs to be rectified before we proceed? We can proceed, Kelvin. Okay, thank you. Now, I will translate what Honorable Elvis said in P for the account stations here. But even before I do that, let me, some of the things he said bears repeating in the English language. The most important thing Comrade Elvis Efiakra has said here this evening, and please if the door can remain closed, we will appreciate it. Is that the elections are not over. Elections is not just about voting, counting, and the reporting of counting results.
So go to the constituency coalition center.
Welcome to the most comprehensive, insightful, and modern election day coverage of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV's Election Central. Here is your history.
So this is the election, the Ghana election race since 1992, about to get underway. J.J. Rawlings and the NDC Gulf One decked in green, white, and red colors, and Albert Dubois in the other, red, blue, and white colors. And this is November 1992. Away they go. The race is on. Not a great start for the MPP. JJ is in the lead. He is opening the gap. He is winning. JJ has won the race. And he's won the election. NDC wins.
So help me God. So help me God.
The year is 1996, and the opening lap of the Ghana election race is about to begin. And this time around, J.A. Kufuor comes onto the ballot, the new candidate for the NPP. This promises to be a very fast race. Who gets the bragging rights? All cars are in position now, and it's on in earnest. And J.A. Kufuor has started well, threatening to win. He seems formidable and holding on, but here comes the experienced J.J. Rawlings. J.J. and the NDC have taken the lead. J.J. seems to be winning. He's driving pretty fast, going quickly around the bend. JJ is winning, and he has actually won the race. He has won the re-election, second time running consecutively.
Candidate J.J. Rawlings is hereby declared the winner of the presidential election 1996.
The year 2000 brought with it the first big change. JJ is no longer on the ballot. Enter Vice President Professor Mills to challenge J.A. Kufuor, the veteran, the battle-tested and now experienced candidate behind the wheel. The race starts amidst great expectations in both camps, with Professor Adam Mills in the lead. But then J.A. Kufuor fights back. And takes over. This is looking good for the MPP. Kufuor is leading. But wait a minute. The MPP and the NDC must go into a second round of voting and racing. A photo finish that needs a rerun to determine a clear winner. Kufuor versus Mills, round 2. December 28th, Kufuor takes an early lead. He's driving really fast. Great driving skills there. Exhibited by J.A. Kufuor. The race is over. It is well and truly over. And J.A. Kufuor has been elected the third president of the Fourth Republic. Remarkable turn of events. Kufuor was returned in 2004, which he won. And then came the big one in 2008. This was a Kufuor representing Team NPP and driving a sleek Morris Minor with newer technology and mind-blowing speed, pitting his might and strength against J.A. Mills. The race begins on 7th of December. A Kufuor leads the race. Oh yes, he leads and he is leading. This is looking good for him. But no, he is not getting to the finishing line. What's happening here? Dearie me. What's happening here? A Kufuor couldn't make it. He couldn't make it to the finishing line. So for the second time in the Fourth Republic, the election goes into a second round. It's the NDC versus the NPP again. Akufo-Addo is in the lead, but here comes Mills. What a move by Professor Mills, and he appears to be winning. Oh yes, J.E.M. Mills has become the fourth president of the Fourth Republic of Ghana. No two ways about that. Mills is the winner.
I, John Evans Arthur Mills, do in the name of the Almighty.
Then came 2012. For the very first time, John Mahama is on the ballot with Akufo-Addo. JM has replaced Mills as president and as Team NDC candidate. The race starts on December 7th. Akufo-Addo takes the lead. It's looking good for the MPP, but no, it looks like Mahama will overtake him. And yes, he actually has. He has overtaken Akufo-Addo. He has overtaken the NPP. It's looking good for the NDC. John Dramani Mahama is doing quite well, driving really well, and he has won the race. JM is the new president of Ghana. He is the new president of Ghana. He has won the race. But wait a minute, something is happening here. We need to have something clarified. What is the matter? Oh, Akufo-Addo is going to the Supreme Court. He is going to challenge the election. He is going to challenge the election. Well, the challenge was not successful, and Akufo-Addo has now congratulated JM for winning the election. Wow, pretty much of a relief to most onlookers as tensions ease up.
Whilst I disagree with the court's decision, I accept it. I accept that what the court says brings finality to the election dispute.
Now here is 2016. All is set for a big race. A great race indeed. Expectations are really high. What are you expecting on your side? It's going to be a great one. Bang, and away they go. Akufo-Addo takes an early lead. He is stretching the lead. This is looking good for the MPP. Akufo-Addo is driving really well, opening the gap, doing quite well around the bend, holding up pretty well. Are we going to see a change? Are we going to see him win? Will he win? Yes, he's driving, opening up the gap, speeding really well. He is going to win. He looks like he's going to do it. And oh yes, he wins. And he wins by a great margin. A landslide victory. Nana Akufo-Addo has been elected president by a landslide. The first opposition candidate to do so. It's a landslide.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you.
After all is said, 2020 promises another exciting race. Vote wisely, but do vote. No violence, get home and watch the most exhilarating team for election broadcast. It's Metro TV's Election Central. And we are physically ready.
Jerusalem, ikayalami, ilondoloze.
We are ready.
Oh yes, we are very ready. Who are you going to be voting for? Are you going to vote for this man, the incumbent president, or that man, the former president? Or are you going to vote for any other candidate? And we're going to analyze the ramifications of each result. Now, that's the most insightful election day coverage in the history of the Fourth Republic. It is Metro TV.
Actually, Kate, in Josu Ringway, voting time, me top piece. You walk out to have vote to tape, Yashian, no abotue, cafe gidi. One small piece, one time, one family, Ekome, gidi akaba, a pledge for peace.
My name is David Nati. My brothers, this election, no be giddy. Right after voting, go house and go relax. At the end of the day, be one country. If you mess up for we all. A pledge for peace. Cheers. Yeah.
I'm say about what time aso. I have about to about to about to here soon be. If they see ano Ghana near or Ghana back pay any Ghana me. Say the BCC any baby ako any a man no who better home. Yeah, memma dear and Kaibit me Ganu by any and my fan on Befa. See an abaton, so I 2 years. Oh, Pabet me a cotton fee. Yabuboria. What did you be winning now? Now, I find it, sir. You be winning be a man Ghana and Eddie Kuni. Ts. Remoa Mutuya, Mumodian, Namu yes, and ye. As from Gaba or man, am I at me a trom man? No, my Ghana, Ede. Scandinavia, and so man, we peace room. You nay assume ye. Dear baby, and I assume you who near the edging. Ts. Rama, Munye, Adibia, a dear soon give about Mangana. I may have one to Adom-Otchere. I paid for peace for Ghana, my motherland.
Toku kuda dema, big bona voting de. Mada kukuna mibe, Ghana de kapa ko ele miesi. Tamina ne mi awodeka, ne mi ibe mi ava voter, ne mi vote ba, ya yi mi papa oma. Eye ne o declare winner, yo kata mi acho asile mi papa mada kukuna mi. Ghana, I repeat, de kako I pledge for peace.